blood and thunder. Go.
I enjoy the grind, but I understand where people do come from. I wouldn't mind a 1 week delay. I think 1 week delay is reasonable, no? That's not too long. If it's like 2 weeks, maybe they could complain, but 1 week, that's not so bad. Level 25 to 40 actually is the second longest grind, longer than 40 to 50, 50 to 60, longest of course. Really? I feel like that last bit takes the it feels longest for me at least. Do you think people will be so geared within 1 week wait time though that will make it super easy to clear? Listen, if we're talking about retail, you could complain about being hard or easy. We're talking about classic. What do you mean is it gonna be easy to clear? Regardless of how, it's gonna be easy. It's not gonna be like a prog where people take weeks to clear. It's gonna be cleared in a day. Unless they tweak the numbers oddly. Because most of the people were on the fence of... I asked the question, I was like, should they make the raids a little bit harder? Because I like it when it's, you know, a little bit difficult and more mechanic. That being said, classic players were saying, if you want difficulty, go play retail WoW. And in a way, they're right. So they want the same difficulty that was given in BFT. I think that's a very fair take. And I agree with them. So I went back on my words and I'm like, okay, you guys are pretty much right. We don't want it too easy, but I think BFD was on a good level for classic WoW players. What if we had heroic difficulty, or is that a bad idea? Again, I personally would enjoy it, but this is classic WoW, and classic WoW is enjoyed from a lot of people because it's so open and it's simple and easy. If there's levels of LFR, normal, heroic, and mythic, people are gonna give the mythic level the highest ranking, so people are gonna want to go for that. And if you do normal or LFR, everyone's gonna look down on you and make fun of you. In classic WoW, there's none of that. There's just one raid and done, and everyone can do it, so everyone can have like same standards, right? It's a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's good that everyone can do it and enjoy the content, but at the same time, it creates a lot of ego. That's why in classic WoW PvP, there's the most egotistic players that just 10-man spam Warsong Gulches and think they're the best, but when they go play retail arena, they suck. They're like 1200 max, right? Do you think we're getting SM too? We'll probably get SM. I think they sneak peeked it. Probably in the next phase. Yo, on this topic, how do you guys feel about this? Right now, we have Darkmoon Fair, the boon buff from BFD, and we have the Warsong Gulch buff. Next patch, we are bound to get No More Gone buff and probably STV buff. Do you think it should replace, when a new content comes out, should they replace the old ones? Or do you guys want it where we have to grab every single buff? If that's the case, when we're level 60, Songflower, DMT, BFD, SM, Ashenvale, like, dude, at some point it's gotta stop, right? It's too much, I think. I don't mind getting the buffs right now, but if there's more and more and more, there's gonna be too much, I believe. I also would really want them to make it specific for the Ashenvale buff, to either make it boonable or just make it PvP only, so that people don't have to like raid log, because there's a lot of people that raid log still, right? And they don't get to play the character because they want to keep that little buff. And we have 2 raids a week. So it's like awkward with that buff. I know this is for like only people that enjoy smashing the DPS meter. It doesn't really matter for the casual. But I feel like they should make it specific. Either put a word for only PvP or make it boonable so we don't feel awkward with it. So do you guys want more? Or should they make it where the new phases replace the older one? And lastly, they gotta fix this layer shit, man. When I was playing hardcore SoD, I was mining and I literally layered mid-mine and then my mine disappeared. And then I got attacked by like 3 hyenas. Like, dude, what in the world is this?
There was also the incident with the World PvP event they had planned. And the layering ruined it.
Alright, back up and we're gonna have a battle, boys. Alright, gentlemen. Whatever happens, we fight with honor. Fair gameplay, don't get toxic. This is a fun community event. We'll be facing off the Horde. We will hold this gate, ladies and gentlemen. It should not layer like that, especially when I'm PvP in Ashenvale and we're winning and then you layer and you're in a losing layer. It's like, dude, massive turn off, ruining my immersion. I didn't mind when they did invite and then you get layered into someone else's layer when you get invited, but randomly getting layered, it feels really bad. Or at least make it where if we go to like a little town or rested area, you get layered. I don't like I'm like questing, fighting a mob, and I almost kill it and I get layered. It feels awful, man. Awful. They won't remove layering, doesn't matter. It does matter. It wasn't like, the layering wasn't this bad. The normal layering before was I invite him to a group and then he layers into my lair. I don't recall having many moments like that playing the 2019 version of Classic WoW. Or in hardcore, I don't remember just layering randomly, or maybe there wasn't enough people. But I did play on Fairlina, right? Fairlina was one of the biggest server. Yeah, it's a little awkward, man. You get the difference though, chat? How was my SoD experience overall? Number one, it was super fun when it came out. I'm still having a blast. I think this phase was a little long, but not bad. Not bad. I wouldn't mind the second phase being this long because at level 40 there's a lot more to do, right? And a lot more ability. It's going to be a little bit more fun. We'll have a lot more kits, new stances, level 40 talents and whatnot. So much more fun to look forward to. So it's been really good start initially. I thought the rune system, collecting the runes, exploring, especially the one for Divine Storm, I had a lot of fun with that. So the runes have been fun. The launch has been really fun. PvP wise, I think Ashenvale, I can't give too much points. We talked about it a little earlier. It's just a boss kill race. I feel like they need to add little cannons from Darkmoon Fair to teleport over, or little boxes that they drop off with airplanes so we could like eat them and run faster as a group to intercept the other team and whatnot. I think if they add those, it'll be more interesting. There'll be actually PvP, actual PvP, instead of just rushing bosses. Also, the layering is fucked in Ashenvale. It's really bad, so that ruins my experience in Ashenvale. So for PvP wise, I gotta give them a 7 out of 10 maybe. That's still very high, right? Maybe 6 out of 10. For PvE, the raid was fun. The pacing felt nice. I know we're all like just re-clearing, so you might say it's boring, but when I initially started, I'm still having fun now, but I'm having fun in a different way where I'm just trying to pump, grab all the buffs and just pump with my group or speed clear. I think we're gonna go for a speed clear at 3 p.m. PST tonight. The raid was fun. I thought the mechanic was at the right level for classic players. Some people want it harder, some people want it easier. I think it should just stay the same as it is since it's classic WoW. If you want more difficulty, you go play retail, right? I I'm looking very forward to Nomargon, the next patch. Overall, Season of Discovery has been fun. I like it. It's fun. If it was just classic relaunch, I wouldn't play it since we did it way too many times. But since there's like a little spice into it, I'm having fun with it. What do you guys think, chat? SOD's biz? Phase 1 has been 8 out of 10. The progressive phase leveling is brilliant for a while. I have 4, it feels like a full-time job. Add a timer. Oh, that's right. Add a timer in Warsong Gulch. And maybe make it where it's like pre-made versus pre-made or solo queue versus solo queue. I hear a lot of people getting wrecked by pre-mates all day long, and that's probably not fun at all, right? Unless you have friends and a group to play with. No Gulch timer? No, they need a timer. Are you psycho? They need a timer. It's stupid. Why wouldn't you? I think a good length is like 20 to 30 minute Warsong. It should have a timer, period. Because if somebody wants to hold the Warsong Gulch hostage, they can hold it hostage forever. And that's not fun. Even in the Warsong Gulch tournaments, where these are like the sweaty of the sweat, they have like a 1 hour timer max. Because they know it could get nasty and long if they turtle. There should be a timer for Warsong 100%. No, long Gulch can be very fun. Yeah, 30 minutes fun. It's more fun. You'll be more on the edge, like, oh shit, the timer's about to go. Yo, we need to get a flag right now to win. Alright, everyone push. It forces you to come out of your little shell. If we don't have that, they just turtle. It's like, okay, your team want to sit there? Alright, my team's gonna sit over here. We'll be at the roof. Hunter, lay down your traps and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. And it's nasty.
What do you need? Strength.
I like this guy's channel a lot. It's a really cool informational channel for World of Warcraft and SoD in general.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got a short episode today, but an episode nonetheless, with some big speculations heading into Phase 2, the final raid logs for Phase 1 to show you where everybody ranks, some big money materials to prepare for next phase, and some more community comments from you all. My name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. This is your Season of Discovery News. Sit down, grab a cup of coffee. We got a little bit to discuss today. Starting today's episode off, we have a very hot take on Nomargon being delayed a week for Phase 2's launch. Everybody knows.
Yeah, it's confirmed that it's been delayed.
An
yeah,
entire
I think.
year now, Gazoo. Thank you for the amazing entertainment.
Modern Pirate, thank you for the prime 12 months. What do you guys think? Before we get into the whole nitty-gritty of the video, do you guys think it's good that it's gonna be delayed, or do you want it at release? Like, do you just want it to be out at the release? I feel like, yes, delay is good, 1 week, I don't care, delay it, no, it's bullshit, I don't care, 5 days maybe, it's good. I feel like the people that are angry about this is people that want to, like, super sweat it and try to get, like, world first Gnomer again, right? Because it's like a race for them, pretty much. I feel like it's kind of fine that they're delaying it, because I feel like, I mean, it's not like let's be honest, it's not like the raid is gonna be incredibly difficult anyway. Right, but some people enjoy that whole race part of it, but it's a very small percentage of the player base that want to have that sweaty, like, you know, race for, like, the Gnomer again and stuff. You know, let the sweaty sweat, it does not matter at all, they enter a week before you do. I think it's fine that they're waiting with it for a week. I have no issue with it. It makes people like less stressed about making the first raid and kind of just enjoying the game a little bit more, right? It also gives the developers a week to see if any runes or abilities are way too strong, like Hunter Explosive Shot was. Yeah, or the Hunter Scorpion, or the Hunter, like, you know, Ranged Pit, or the Hunter Pits in general, or just Hunters in general. I agree. I think it's good that they're delaying it. But yeah, let's see it. Let's see it.
That when a new expansion or phase gets released for World of Warcraft, it feels like the pressure to level up quickly and progress through the content tends to build up because nobody ever wants to feel left behind.
True.
I mean, let's put it this way. From the moment Season of Discovery was released, it only took 20 hours before a team of players actually cleared Black Fathom Deeps, which is the peak endgame of Phase 1. Now, of course, this is the absolute extreme case scenario, but for the above average players who have a bit more time to play on their hands, it only took them maybe 4 or 5 days to level up and just instantly hop into BFD to clear the hardest content available.
But let's be honest, it's not hard content. I think they are purposely not making the raids super difficult because it's supposed to be leveling raids as you're going through the levels. There's probably gonna be more difficult content when we get to level 60, right? And yes, also for you guys wondering, it's gonna be a 10-man raid. No More Again will not be a 20-man raid, it will be a 10-man raid.
I honestly think by doing this, they cut themselves short on content that comes out from the real end game. That means farming out PvP reputation, farming out gold to get enchants, running dungeons with your guildmates so you can all acquire the best gear possible, getting all your professions ready, all to prepare for that end game raid. It seems like a lot of the social aspects just get skipped, and I think a big part of it has to do with people not wanting to feel left behind in terms of progressing through the game. Even myself, someone who's able to play the game a good amount, it feels really bad when I see players already running around, quickly completing all of the endgame content the game has to offer. With the focal point of Season of Discovery being primarily about exploring the world, discovering new aspects of World of Warcraft, finding new features and gameplay styles, and generally just honing in on that old school MMORPG feel, it seems like rushing to the endgame kind of ruins the primary design aspect. And on the forums, we actually got something very interesting going on. A user actually created an article titled, "Delay No More Gan by a week so we can enjoy leveling in Phase 2. He states, do the same thing as...
I'm not entirely sure if it's fully confirmed that the delay. I don't think it is. But from what I've seen from a few tweets from Akerend and a few other people, it does seem like that's what they're leaning towards. So they are definitely leaning a lot more towards the delaying option than just having it at launch. Imagine if there was no endgame in WoW. Well, there has to be an endgame in WoW, like in an MMO, right? Because, you know, that's what it is, right? This honestly sounds like a baby complaint. If it feels bad watching other people be ahead of you, maybe just unpack that first and stop making it bad for other people. Well, I don't really feel like it's a bad thing delaying the raid by a week, you know. But yeah, obviously you shouldn't care too much what other people are doing. I definitely agree with that. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of people do, right? A lot of people do compare themselves to other players and everything like that. So you are definitely right, though. You shouldn't do that. It's a bad environment to be around, and it's a bad both for you and for the game, right?
Wrath of the Lich King Phase 1 and delay the raid by a week so we can enjoy the leveling, the open world PvP, and finding runes before we rush into the endgame raid. He emphasizes his argument by saying this will also make the race to world first for No More Again much more interesting since it will be dependent more on player skill rather than dependent on whoever can have paid time off from their job.
I mean, if you're going for a race to world first No More Again, they're gonna take time off the job regardless, right? I mean, if, you know, that's not gonna be a really issue. I think in terms of the race would be more fun to watch, more pre-raid biz. I feel like would the race be more, from a viewing experience, would the race be more fun from like delaying it or like not delaying it? I feel like I don't know. I think a lot of people enjoy that whole sweaty process of, you know, like the insane leveling and everything like that. Delay 100%. We saw Phase 1. No one cared. If they do delay it, there's gonna be like an open floodgate where like the raid will be opened and all the guilds that want to try world first are gonna be racing, right? And it'll be like that'll actually be a quite fun thing. It'll be over under an hour for sure. It's gonna be super fast. But it'll definitely be fun to watch, regardless if the raid is hard or not. So I think delaying it will definitely make for a more fun viewing experience. I don't know, personally, I don't really care to watch people like, you know, min-max like dungeon spamming to like get to level 40 and then do a dungeon as fast as they can, right? But yeah, there's gonna be a few sweat lords doing world first, people will mention it and stuff will go on as usual, delay or not, won't matter. Yeah, I also agree with that. I don't think people are super like crazy about world first no more again. I think the fun world first races will come at the level 60 if they do some new raids at level 60. That's when like a fun world first race would be happening, right? Because these 10-man raids are quite simple and easy. Let's be honest. I love the delay because it means you can get 2 to 3 alts ready for first week. You're gonna be power grinding if you're gonna be leveled that many, but that's true. I do agree, yeah.
Now, after reading this, immediately my mind went to, what about
the
all
world
those...
first is so worn out at this point? Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. That I kind of just play a lot more casually. Like, I kind of just chill and enjoy the game, and I think that's the best way to go about it, you know? Okay.
Those players who loves to speed run to the end game. What if their preferred gameplay style is to get to the end game as quickly as possible because that's what they enjoy? Why should we hold them back? But then it actually hit me. Delaying the endgame content after a new expansion or major patch release is something that Blizzard has always done. The reason for that is because they want players to participate in other forms of content, such as Mythic Plus, the PvP preseason, grouping for open world content. I mean, by allowing the raid to be open on day 1, you're cutting the content you have available in half, because the second you hop into the raid as a player, you lose all interest in grinding out pre-raid best in slot or farming reputations per gear, because, I mean, I know on a bunch of my alternate characters, I didn't grind out pre-raid best in slot at all, simply because I didn't have to. I mean, I know I could hop into the raid and start getting the best gear in the game, so why would I waste my time doing that when I already completed that journey multiple times?
I think that's a different though from your first character and to your alts. I think the way you treat your alt characters are different from your main, like your first one you get up, right? Because the first character you get up usually do everything. You know, you get the dungeon, you get the professions, you get everything. When you level your second, third, fourth character, then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna get it up fast, I'm gonna buy some gear, buy some stuff, and then I'm gonna, you know, just go into the raid with my alt and I'm gonna juice it up, right? But the main is different. The sweats will just corpse cam the noobs for a week in STV instead. Welcome to World of Warcraft PvP servers. That's really how it goes, right? But I really think there's definitely very few things to... There's very few bad things to delaying it, except like I guess there's gonna be some people pissed off that wants to like try hard and sweat the raid. But yeah, I think it's overall a good thing. Do you think that people won't all be in SM?
I think this will make Season of Discovery's lifespan just a little bit longer per phase because it doesn't encourage players to rush as quickly as possible to clear the end game content. Holding it off and making it to where everyone could participate and enjoy it at the same time might not be a bad idea. I mean, we even saw over on Twitter, Agrind actually liked a post from Stay Safe asking if Nomergan should be delayed by a week so that people will have more time to level up and experience Season of Discovery. So it definitely shows that they're keeping an eye on what the community wants. So, what do you all think? You think they should delay Nomergan a week? You think it's not fair to the players who like to speedrun and get to max level?
I'm surprised that it's so close in the votes. I thought it would be way more sided towards delaying it.
As soon as possible? Or do you think Season of Discovery should be about taking your time, having fun, exploring, and finding all the new features in the game? Let us know in the comment section below, because I'm sure they're paying attention. As we know, heading into the next phase, every class is also going to get a couple new slots to insert rune sockets into. With that being known...
Wait, chest, legs, hands, bracer? Bracer, feet, cloak, helm, shoulder, waist. What? We're gonna get like in every single piece of gear pretty much? So because we currently have chest, pants, and gloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna get like one in every single one. That's gonna be crazy. Hopefully a lot of them are passives. I do hope they do a little bit more passives for sure, right? But, I mean, we'll see what they do, I guess. I don't know. That's crazy. I bet some are more utility and passives. Oh, for sure. They're for sure gonna do a lot more passives, definitely. Holy crap. It's gonna be like talents? Yeah.
This leads people to speculate and wonder what could be coming. And over on Wowhead, it seems like they already have a rune wish list you can actually go...
we went through this one. Yeah, there is... I think there's a video on that as well on the Guzo TV channel on the React stuff. We went through this one. I don't really agree with this list very well, personally.
Out. Some of the most notable were Eclipse and Tree of Life for Druid, a lock and load and coordinated assault to help
I'm not a big fan of it. Okay, we talked about it.
out Melee Hunter, Arcane Barrage and Water Elemental for Mage, Divine Steed and Aura Mastery for Paladin, Mind Spike for Priest, Roll the Bones for Rogue, Hand of Gul'dan and Havoc for Warlock, Bladestorm for Warrior, and finally, an interesting one was Sundering for Shaman, which is a two-handed enhancement ability only. There are some pretty cool ideas here, and it's definitely worth checking out. But I will say, when it comes to the new runes and abilities...
This is not confirmed runes. This is a Wowhead post about a wish list for someone that wanted those runes. Okay, it's not a confirmed runes.
coming out as we start heading into the new phases, I'm really hoping they don't simply just copy and paste what we've already seen before in different iterations of World of Warcraft. I mean, for example, right now, you can look at Retribution Paladins. They're pretty much just got their entire toolkit from Wrath of the Lich King, which is just kind of a safe route to take. I don't think it's...
Please, more new stuff. Give us something we've never seen. Some new passives, some new abilities, something new.
Too exciting. I mean, I love the creativity of brand new spells and specs coming into the game, like tanking warlocks, mages that can heal, shaman tanking, all the new spells we haven't seen before, like Living Flame from Mage or Homunculi from Priest. I really hope they just stick to the pattern of bringing brand new, never-before-seen spells and effects into the game as Season of Discovery continues. So hopefully that's the route they go. Speaking of the next phase, we actually wanted to break down the ending parses for Phase 1 because I don't see them doing any more class changes.
Warrior's gonna be on top. I mean, there's no shot.
Until Phase 2 kicks in. Starting off with the biggest changes on the logs, being now that...
Dude, this looks like endgame already.
Phase 2 kicks in. Starting off with the biggest changes.
This already looks like endgame vanilla. It literally does. Warrior, Rogue on top, then Hunter, Feral, you know, Warlock, top caster DPS. This literally is pretty much endgame vanilla in terms of like DPS, right? And this is crazy because Warrior is supposed to be at their worst. What's the lowest? Lowest is Frost Mage and DPS Priest. Warriors are supposed to be at their very, very worst, at like right now, right? That's crazy.
On the logs, being now that Destruction Warlock and Fire Mages above the 90th percentile are now beating Ret Paladins in terms of DPS. Not only that, it seems like Arcane Mage is creeping up slowly and started to pick up pace with the Living Flame buff they acquired a few weeks ago. Something that is very fascinating is if you even check out the DPS charts after the nerfs to Hunters, Melee Hunters in particular dropped over 5 points total, taking them from near the top in terms of DPS to now dropping them down to just about middle of the pack. So those changes to the Beast Mastery rune...
But let's be honest, okay, parses are a little bit of a meme, okay? You can cheese parses in so many ways. Play pretty much whatever you want, okay? And you'll be fine regardless,
Not too long ago is something that is really affecting them greatly. We also have, of course, Warrior now staying on top of the DPS meters, with Rogue being a close second. And the thing is that Warrior and Rogue are only going to continue to scale and become way more powerful as they acquire more gear and talents.
Okay, again, just like to reiterate my point here. Warriors are literally taunting mobs on Akumai to pop retaliation to get better parses and more DPS. They are cleaving a mob that you're not supposed to be attacking for more DPS. So it's not like they like a lot of the DPS they do is a lot more of just like, you know, padding, right? That's really just what parses are to a big degree, right? If you really care about parses and SoD, you are just a lost cause. I will say, I think parsing is fun. I enjoy it. I think it's interesting seeing how much DPS I can do, but you shouldn't take parses too seriously.
So I don't see this changing anytime soon heading into the next phases. Of course, talking about the good classes, we also have to bring about the poor ones, being Balanced Druid, Enhancement, and Elemental Shaman, as well as...
I'm actually really sad how bad Enhancement is performing. In the very first raid we did on Badouche, we actually kind of did pretty good, and I was hyped about it, but then we just kind of fell off, like real bad.
Shadow Priest and Frost Mages, and they are still at the bottom of the logs, and it should stay that way as we begin to head into next phase. There are some notable changes, though, coming into all these classes as we head into Phase 2, with Balanced Druid, for example, having Mune Fury as well as Moon Conform, Elemental Shaman having Elemental Fury and Lightning Mastery, Shadow Priest gets Shadow...
Dude, I think I might go... I'm gonna go Elemental on Badouche. There's no way I won't. Dude, Elemental's gonna be so fun, I think.
Form and shadow weaving. So there are a lot of things that can turn these specs around. It is going to be very interesting to see how they perform in Phase 2. Overall, though, I still think that there is going to be a clear-cut difference in between how powerful physical damage dealers are compared to casters, simply because of things like spell rankings constantly interfering with DPS, the lack of spell hit, and consistent spell damage on gear and other factors. So I'm hoping Blizzard can sort of address and maybe clean up this aspect, at least in terms of PvE for Season of Discovery. Because at the moment, it's pretty much whoever has the better room design based around pure damage is just going to deal more damage. I don't know. I also
think we should be really careful about scaling the game for level 25. Okay, I know right now level 25 is the meta, and that's the end game currently, but the real end game is 60, okay? There's a few phases where, okay, now it's level 40, now it's level 50, now it's level 60, but focus on level 60. Like, the end game needs to be good, not level 40, 50, 60, right? Because they can be unbalanced. If level 25 is unbalanced, like a month from now, that doesn't matter. Like, not as much, at least, right? Yeah, you're gonna have some crazy twinks doing some crazy pumpage, right? But that's just a fun meme, I suppose. Seeds art thing with the Prime. No more gonna have so many bleed immune mobs, so let's see how they balance that. Maybe warriors are gonna be worse because of that, and maybe that's gonna balance stuff more out in No More again. Who knows, right?
I think that one last key design feature they...
Guzu don't care about endgame now. 90% cry about hunters being OP. Well, okay. There's a difference between a class outperforming other, players by like twice as much or 3 times as much, and stuff being like a little bit out of balance, right? Hunters were insane, bro. And if you look at the long route of hunters, pets would only get better with Bestial Wrath. Imagine if they never nerfed hunters or the scorpions, and Scorpion would have Bestial Wrath, which is like I don't know how long, 18 seconds, complete immune to everything and 50% more damage. Yeah, okay, good luck.
Can take into consideration is to try and hold back as much as they can on nerfing classes simply because other classes are underperforming. Because nothing feels worse than when your class is doing great and everything feels awesome, the rotations...
This is like, you gotta be careful. I know it sucks getting your class nerfed if you're really powerful, but power creep is a real thing. If you keep buffing everything always, suddenly we're gonna be in Cataclysm numbers already.
Fun, the damage is good.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, you go up on the forums and you see that you're getting the nerf stick. I mean, I know a big key point at the BlizzCon showcase for Season of Discovery was to try and make every class feel more overpowered rather...
Dude, people were so angry that warriors were like, oh my god, warriors have nothing. And look at the warriors now, man. Just demolishing the meters, dude. As things should be.
And then just nerfing the best ones like warriors. And the sad truth is, right now, at the moment, warriors are on top with rogues once again. So I really hope this is something they can address and it doesn't become a laughingstock meme in the future. I don't know. Speaking of the future, what classes do you guys think will be broken inside of Phase 2? What classes do you think would be weak? What do you plan on playing? Let us know in the comment section below.
I don't know. I really think, in terms of PvE, even for PvP, warriors are gonna be kind of crazy, man. They're gonna be sick. They're gonna get Berserker Stance, Intercept. They're gonna get Bloodthirst and Mortal Strike. They're gonna be pretty crazy. I also think mages. Yeah, Sweeping Strikes. Oh my god. Mages are probably gonna be sick as well, especially for PvP because they're gonna get Ice Block. Yeah, Whirlwind. Yeah. What makes mages sick in PvE? No, I'm talking about PvP. Mages will be sick for PvP, but that's just mages, right? Boomkins are gonna be strong. Maybe with Boomkin form and everything like that, they're gonna be a little bit more powerful if they don't struggle too much with mana. But I guess they have the Wrath rune, right? If they can spam Wrath and stuff and have it do okay damage. Elish Shamans will chain lightning and new talents could be good as well. I have a good feeling about Elemental Shaman as well. I do, man. Imagine a Lava Burst into Chain Lightning Overload proc on both and Elemental Mastery. Holy shit, man.
Speaking of the next phase, we also just wanted to break down some of the best and most valuable consumables and materials heading into next phase, or even some that you can farm right now. As you know, there could be brand new consumables and crafted items with Phase 2 being introduced, but of course we don't know anything about those just yet. Just remember that all your professions will be capped at the skill level of 225, and you cannot learn anything beyond that. If you want a very simple version of this, we made a list of it actually on a
Okay.
Google Doc spreadsheet below. So if you want to just save it or take a screenshot, go ahead and go check that out. Starting off, the items that we estimate that will be the most expensive and are definitely going to be your fire protection potion or your nature protection potions.
Okay.
We aren't exactly sure what is going to be most needed inside of Nomergon just yet, but
Depends on the
one of
bosses.
these is going to be needed for clearing the raid much easier, just like we did for BFD with shadow protection potions. So if you're looking to craft these in the next phase, you can even start preparing right now. You can go ahead and farm out these flame sacks from the whelps inside of wetlands, the strangle kelp inside of the water, just about anywhere you go find water. Even life root as well. I mean, all of these should shoot up in price drastically as the first week
Yeah,
of...
there could be actually really good point. There could be some use for like the fire protection potions. I really hope they make the final boss good. They have the perfect opportunity to make the last boss of No More again so epic. They have a massive boss room. They have the bomb mechanic. I really hope they make that boss sick. I hope so. It's not gonna be like a super difficult raid. We all know that, but I really still hope it's gonna be cool, right? Blizzard cares about shamans? Of course they do. Make it a 5-minute battle.
Nomergon
Holy.
actually arrives, and you should make a pretty penny if you start crafting before everyone else does. Next up, you also have Khadgar's Whisker, which can be made to make the
Potions.
best healing and mana potions in the game, which next phase are going to be very, very valuable. Then you also have crucial items for
I don't think
leveling
so,
your
engineering.
blacksmithing as well as engineering, like the countless iron and heavy
Oh, yeah.
stone you're going to need. And what I think will be in constant demand is going to be your solid stone, which can be used to create the best bombs and sapper
Yeah.
charges in the game, which is going to be very, very sought
Iron
after
grenades.
for dealing high damage in raids as well as PvP. If you guys want, just go check out that Google Doc spreadsheet below to get a clean-cut
that's cool.
screenshot if you want to just save it. Moving on now to the community part of our video, we just
Alright.
want to quickly state how grateful we are to be able to make Season of Discovery
Holy.
content for you all. I mean, our channel has grown over 10,000 subscribers since we've started
Honestly, he makes really good videos. The channel is great. For informational SoD stuff, this is an amazing channel. I like the format a lot. It's really good.
this
Very clean.
journey a little over a month ago, and we absolutely could not do it without you all
Yeah, very
liking,
good.
commenting to support the YouTube algorithm, because it truly helps a lot more than you know. Thank you all so much. We have some very big news to announce soon, so I hope you all stay tuned. Our first comment comes from the user Shauf3481 stating, kind of hoping they release some info on the Nomergon raid. If the boss...
No. Release nothing. Nothing at all. Let people just be clueless. Okay? I don't think they should like release anything. Just let people be clueless.
Classes are all mechs or elementals
I'll link it in
and
one
are
link,
immune to bleeds and poisons, some classes will be having a rough time. I mean, I already know right off the bat that if a lot of the bosses in there are immune to bleeds and poisons, warriors and rogues in particular are going to be getting hit very, very hard. I mean, warriors
see.
right now, the reason why they're topping the meters is because of deep wounds, and rogues are doing so much damage.
Actually, not really anymore. That was with the one-handed spec. It's since changed. Deep wounds are still a big part of the damage, but it's not the major driving factor anymore.
Because of Saber Slash and double procking their poisons off of Deadly Brew.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, you also have
Ooh,
the Feral
bleeds.
Mangle debuff that increases the damage
from-
of bleeds.
from druids.
I mean, I'm hoping this isn't the case, because it always does feel kind of crappy to fight a mechanical creature in
On
WoW.
some bosses it is. Turtle boss is the only one where deep wounds is really big. Like, deep wounds is still big, don't get me wrong, but Turtle boss is the only one where you go dual wield. I think you will spec Death Wish in phase 2, which means you cannot spec into deep wounds. Yeah, you might be right about that. You definitely might be right. Death Wish might be too big to not have.
And
For sure.
you can't even really do half your rotation because of that. So it is going to be interesting to see how this is handled heading into next phase. We also have B. Marty stating, add enchanting vellums. Make
Ooh.
selling enchants better than standing around Stormman or Darnassus for hours. And now I do gotta agree, this is way better for making gold, because all my mage
That's
does
true.
sometimes when I'm bored, I'll just sell enchants as well as conjured food and water. But I already know what they would say probably to this would be getting into a group and interacting with players is part of the
So,
classic.
enchanting vellums are the stuff that was added in Wrath, which is basically you can sell an enchant, like an item with an enchant on it, right? So you could go into the auction house and you can have a enchant weapon Crusader, and you can just buy it and you can put it on your weapon, right? And then they would have to be made by enchanters. I think that could be quite okay. That could be quite alright. Or was it with inscription it was made? Oh, that was probably an inscription thing, but yeah.
Experience, and that's something
I mean,
they
I
just
don't
don't
know, I
want to
don't
take
hate
away.
it.
But I don't know, to be honest, in my opinion, I personally think that vellums are good for the game, and I think it makes getting enchants a lot more accessible to some of those players who may not know too much about the game. All I know is that it's a lot more streamlined and it makes the whole process a lot easier. So personally, I would prefer it and definitely like it in the game. We also have...
I'm not really super... I don't know. I think overall that would be fine if they did that. I wouldn't really mind that, honestly. Homie needs to... Hey, calm down, DT. I think it's better if they add Willem's Soulbound so you can have someone enchanted instead of putting it into a weapon and save it. You have someone enchanted instead of putting it into a weapon and then you save it. Ah, so you want the player to buy the Willem and then you have an enchanter enchant that, but it's only yours, so you can't sell the Willems. I mean, that would still just be the same thing, though. I mean, in a way, I guess you could store some enchants for the future, but it would still be the same kind of thing, right? Goose is against it because he gets all the enchant for free. I don't.
Thank you, Green Rich, stating, I would rather everything feel broken than everything feel weak. This is Rich's response to them actually continuously nerfing class specs that feel too strong right now.
Is he a hunter player? This is a hunter player, man. There's no way this is not a hunter player. Okay? Unbelievable.
Rather than buffing some of the weaker ones to keep everything...
Hunters aren't even bad, okay? I know it sucks getting your class nerfed, but they are not even bad. That's the thing. They're still like some of the top performing classes. It's so ridiculous.
In line. For example, Hunters got their 6th nerf in a row since the launch, so that is very, very tough for Hunter mains out there. And I do gotta hand it to you, man. I agree. I think they should be buffing classes like Shadow Priest, Elemental Shaman, Enhancement Shamans, Boomkins to really bring the classes in line rather than nerfing Warrior, Rogue, and Hunter over and over and over again, because if you keep on nerfing the really strong specs to make them feel worse, then pretty much all the classes will just feel boring, stale, and make all the classes feel weak. I don't know. I feel like that's just a bad way to sort of handle it, especially since Season of Discovery is a temporary, you know, seasonal thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree what he means though with it. I just want them to buff other runes so there's actual build diversity instead of pet going burr. I agree. I think that's the biggest takeaway from the whole hunter situation. It just feels, if I was a hunter, it would feel kind of shitty if it was just my pet going crazy and then I, as the hunter, did nothing. But maybe some people like that, you know, they just like sending in the pet and then it goes brrr and goes crazy, right?
Mr.
Balance doesn't work like that, you can't have everything OP. Yeah, it's power creep. Power creep will go crazy with it, and then suddenly, like, you know, it'll be completely out of the...
I soloed them in, like, the first, like, 10 seconds of the gate opening.
I would prefer them to make every class a lot stronger to really balance everything out, because that would seem more in line with everything that's going on in Season of Discovery. In the traditional sense, nerfing everything down. That's just how I feel about it. Lastly, we have Swim Freak stating, I've been saying this since its announcement. They should connect Retail and Classic Plus through the Void or Time Dragons.
They might do that. We already have the Void Touch thing with that new
special message for all the hunter.
Explain why there is new and even some places slight differences than original vanilla. I think it's really cool that they can connect it cleverly without ruining the classic experience. I know for some of you, it's going to kill you to hear me say this out loud, but I absolutely hope Retail World of Warcraft becomes super, super successful. Now,
I would love Retail for me personally to be great. I really would. It would be amazing if it was amazing and then, you know, awesome and everything like that. I don't really have like a hate boner for Retail as some people do. I don't play Retail. I'm not like a big fan of it personally. Like I beat Razageth. You know, I played it in the beginning of the new expansion. I always play new expansions at the beginning, but I don't know. I would like it to do good, but we'll see. If War Within is good, I'll play it. I will definitely try War Within. I have no idea how long I will play, but I will definitely try it, and then we'll see what happens.
Asking for them to bring a bunch of Retail changes into Classic.
So you're normal, not liking something doesn't mean you hate it? Yeah, of course not. I mean, I just don't enjoy playing it too much. I don't think it's a horrible game. It's just not really like a game for me at the moment, right?
No, not at all, but I think that Season of Discovery can be the perfect blend between the two and potentially change people's minds against this internal civil war World of Warcraft has had over the last 6 years of Classic versus Retail World of Warcraft. But whether you want to hear it or not, ladies and gentlemen, Season of Discovery is the absolute perfect segue and middle ground between both of those versions of WoW. And it's really why it's so great. Not only that, the stories of both versions of WoW are incredibly deep. And I hope they keep going with this Xalatath implications that...
Bro, I have no... Like, we watched the Platinum video on the Xalatath stuff, bro. I have no idea what's... It's apparently a sword that's corrupting people, and it is like corrupting everybody, but it's not corrupting. And I don't get it, dude. I don't get it, man. Okay, I miss the good old days of there just being a, you know, an evil guy that's very evil, and then he's like very evil, you know, and then he's just the guy. Arthas is for me the perfect villain for like WoW. I think it's amazing, dude. You know, like a good person that gets corrupted and turns evil, and then he's like, you know, an evil guy. I think that's dope.
They've been pushing out with the story of the Void Touch loot from BFD and the way you acquire it. You know, also through Hillsbrad, through the giant light shard.
Arthas is not the villain? Well, he turned into the villain, right? I mean, yeah, he did get corrupted, obviously, by Ner'shul and everything like that, but yeah. Arthas was far from a good person. Well, I think he had good intentions, but, you know, usually how that happens is that, you know, those good intentions turned into more and more and more extreme things, and then, you know, it went wrong. Arthas did nothing wrong, only partially true. The villain back then was the jailer. Shut up! Shut up!
I mean,
he killed his own father? Yeah, but that was after he got corrupted, and he got the Frostmourne and everything like that. He didn't just wake up and kill his dad, you know? It was a slow process leading up to the kill. Right? That was after the corruption happened, mate. What version of WoW do you think has the most players? And how many players do you think retail has? Oh, like right now has the... I honestly think retail has the most players. Yeah, I think overall most people probably play retail. I think so. That is just literally me guessing out of nowhere, but I would say retail for sure. There is a ton of casual retail players. Shut up.
Something very similar going on in retail World of Warcraft right now with the Arathi. And personally, I'm really hoping they continue pushing this story segment. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, leave a comment below for me to respond to live here on these news videos to have a little bit of a discussion point and talk about it. I would love to see your opinions on some of the topics in these videos below. So if you want your voice to be heard, let me know all about it. Once again, sorry about the short video. I know we got like 2 or 3 weeks until the next phase comes out, so I'm trying to scrap up all the news and updates and guides that I can for you all. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe.
No way. No, dude, there's no way. 94%. Am I subbed? I'm subbed, right? I am subbed. Okay.
Subscribe to get absolutely flooded with Season of Discovery content. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. It is an absolute pleasure to be making content for you all. Till the very end, my name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. I will see you all in the next one.
Yeah.
Peace.
Really good videos. I really like the style and the format that he has on this channel. It's a really, really nice informational style channel. You're an ambitious kid. This is good content, quality editing, no clickbait bullshit. Good on you. This made me happy for some reason. Looking forward to the more. Subscribe. Yeah, it's a great video. Really, really great. I'll link it here, guys. Check out the Comeback Kids. Subscribe to their channel and give the video a like as well, guys. Absolutely amazing informational style video. Really, really like it a lot. I like it.
What do you need? For the whole...
What is this? POV, you enter Warsong Gulch in Season of Discovery. Okay.
Okay, fingers crossed. No pre-made. Come on.
Oh, God.
No pre-made. Oh my god.
That's
well,
the pre-made.
time to
It's a
get
big
this loss over with.
It sucks, dude.
They're not having it easy. I'm gonna steal the flag.
Okay.
Got him.
Oh shit. Got destroyed.
Come on, please.
Another pre-made.
Oh.
Dude, it's actually really bad. Genuinely, I really feel like they should take a look at the pre-made stuff in SOD. It's horrible. Because like it's just not fun. It's not fun.
Surely I'll get a pug this time. Oh no. I'm not doing this anymore.
Two honorable kills in 9 games. Haha. I'm a game number 567, 7 pre-mates in a row, maybe took 2 minutes to join next. AFK. It sucks, man, because like all the casual players or like all the just normal gamers that just want to play a little bit of like for fun and just like do a fun like BG for enjoyment, they can't do it because they're just gonna get destroyed by pre-mates, right? Just make it so Pog versus Pog and pre-mate versus pre-mate. Yeah, I mean, surely it cannot be that hard to implement, right?
7 pre-made in a row.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at those wind serpents.
Oh god. It's a
This
sacrifice
guy
oh,
is
God.
upset. How?
What the fuck? I think he pretty much he found every single swear word possible in the filter, man. What the hell?
Upset. How are you enjoying the Warsong Gulch experience? 10 out of 10.
God. Oh god.
Well,
And
this
the saddest part is whenever it reaches a point where the pre-mates are like actually spawn camping you in the graveyard and you have to force yourself to not spawn. It's so bad. Agrent has already commented on pre-mate versus pre-mate queues. I really hope they're doing it, especially going into phase 2 where like Arathi Basin is gonna come out as well. Like Arathi Basin is such an amazing BG. I think for me personally it's my favorite. And it would be such a shame to have it ruined by just like, you know, only pre-mates kind of destroying everybody, right? The lack of matchmaking is just as bad. I had an actual game that started earlier today when Horde had 6 players and we were just matched against the full pre-mate. The reason why you had fewer players is probably because people left the queue, right? So something a lot of people do right now, because there's DMF in Elven Forest, is that they queue up for a Warsong Gulch and then they go pick up the buff from the Sage guy in DMF, so they get their DMF buff, then they take the Warsong queue immediately afterwards to get away from Elven Forest, and then they just leave the BG. Because you get a free teleport that can be used in combat, right? So it's annoying, but that's what people do. That's why a lot of BGs usually are, you know, not filling up fully, because people are abusing that, right? What's up, Eric? I just want a video for Asimus where he does well PvP and a little cameo from Index killing low levels. Yeah, I mean, maybe one day in the future that will happen, right? Don't shine light on that. I mean, I'm just saying that that's the reason why that's happening.
is fun. Lots and lots of fun.
Oh god. Oh god. Now look at that. Seems fun.
You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna go play a PvP game that's actually fun.
Okay.
Like League of Legends.
No.
I have a good feeling.
Asimus.
This'll be tons of fun. Please,
What? I did
let
not
me
expect
out.
this.
Flame when you lost hardcore top. LMAO.
Oh
1
god.
to 4. She is 1 to 4.
Oh
Damn.
god.
This isn't looking good. We can come back. Let's.
Why am I not surprised that Asimus is a Shaco player? For some reason, that doesn't surprise me.
Go. Huh?
God.
Well, maybe this was a bad idea.
Yeah. Well,
I guess I'll go play Minecraft instead.
Really good video from Asimus. Obviously, it's with a funny underlining, but it definitely is true though. Like it's bad. It's just horrible, right? It's not a good look at the moment with the whole situation. But
What's up everybody and welcome back to another video. Season of Discovery Phase 2 is just about 3 weeks away and we're starting to get a little bit of information. People are starting to ask, what are going to be the best professions at level 40 for my specific class? Is Gnomrigan going to be a 10-player raid, a 25-player raid, a 40-player raid? Which consumables are going to be the best for level 40 raiding? And in this video, we're going to talk about all of that. So without further ado, guys, let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is professions, right? I have a professions video in the works talking about which professions are going to be the best moving forward at level 40. However, if you guys head on over to your profession trainers, specifically gathering profession trainers like this skinning trainer here, you could see that to train artisan skinning, you're going to need to be level 41 and have level 200 skinning to go any higher than that. So it looks like we're going to be capped at 225 in this next phase. Just remember though, this is only speculation and they could even cap it at 200. This does change which professions are going to be best for some classes, and I'm going to talk about that more in my professions video. Now the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is your mount. Now right now at the end of phase 1 there's not much going on, so people are trying to make the most amount of gold possible, whether it's investing in consumables or even just simply saving for their level 40 mount. Now if you head over to your mount breeder and trainer, you're going to notice that to purchase your mount from the breeder, it's going to cost somewhere around 40 gold depending on your reputation. And then if you take a look at how much it costs to train the riding skill, that's going to be 9 gold. So roughly 50 gold for your level 40 mounts, which is pretty much half the price it is in Classic Era. Now this price could fluctuate a tiny bit depending on your reputation, like I said before. So just assume that it's anywhere in the ballpark between 40 to 50 gold. Now moving on to our next topic of discussion, this came out earlier in a tweet by Agrant. Earlier today on January 17th, if you're watching this later than that, Agrant said, should we delay the launch of the Gnomrigan 10-player raid by a week or just have it open from day 1 of phase 2? Why do you feel that way you do? Just trying to get a pulse check and some opinions to read. Thanks. So Agrant basically confirmed that Gnomer is going to be a 10-player raid. This is an answer to a lot of the speculation that everyone has been having. We didn't know if it was going to be a 25-player raid, a 15-player raid, a 10-player raid. Now we have confirmation that it is a 10-player raid. And he's asking if they should delay the opening of the raid by 1 week so that people have time to level and experience finding their runes and everything else that this new phase has to offer. I personally think this is a great idea. I do think that the Gnomrigan raid should be delayed by at least a week. If it's not delayed, what's going to happen is you're going to have the super sweaties hitting level 40 and clearing the raid on day 2, which means that they've plowed through most of the content and already finished the raid as fast as possible. If we delay it by a week, it gives everyone a chance to play the next phase. Now, I know that these runes are going to be found really fast. They're going to be all over Wowhead. People are going to just start looking them up. But by delaying the raid by a week, you're giving it that much more attention. People aren't going to feel as pressured to rush to level 40 as fast as they can so they don't miss a lockout. And I think that this is going to be the right way to do this going forward, and I think they should do this with all future phases as well. But I'm really curious to see how you guys feel about this. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you want them to delay the launch of the raid, or do you think it should be in from day 1? I'm sure this is a pretty controversial topic. So there's a couple of things left that I want to go over in this video. I want to talk about the Phase 1 DPS rankings a little bit, just see where each class is at now that we're coming to the end of Phase 1. I want to talk about some consumables that are going to be extremely useful next phase, and I also want to talk about this Stranglethorn Vale PvP event and maybe some Hakar lore, courtesy of Wowhead. So let's jump over to the Phase 1 DPS rankings and take a quick look at where each class stands. So as of right now, this is the week of January the 9th. As it stands right now, the top DPS goes DPS Warrior, Rogue, Marksmanship Hunter, Feral Druid, Warlock, Melee Hunter, Fire Mage, Paladin, Arcane Mage, Balance Druid, Enhancement Shaman, and so on and so forth. As you can clearly see here that towards the end of Phase 1, this really is starting to look like Classic WoW. We have our Warriors and our Rogues right at the top, followed up by Hunters, Feral Druids, and Warlocks. This is pretty standard in terms of vanilla Classic WoW rating, and I think This is a pretty good indicator of things that need to be changed a little bit going forward in all of these phases. You have warriors, which are one of the most gear dependent and super scaling DPS classes that there are in the game, already outscaling every other DPS class by a long shot, by a large margin. I have 2 level 25 warriors that I raid with every single lockout, and I'm a huge warrior fanboy, but I gotta say, they need to take this into consideration going forward when balancing and changing up some of these runes. People complaining that hunters are a little bit too overpowered. Yes, they were overpowered in PvP, but if you're looking at the PvE side of things, they are not anywhere close to as strong as rogues and warriors in terms of pure DPS. Warlocks are pretty surprisingly at the top of the caster list, which is really nice. I think warlocks are actually in a really good spot right now, but if they don't do some balancing going forward in the next phase, I could see casters falling off quite a bit and warriors scaling even more out of control. This isn't going to be a huge deep dive, I just wanted to give you guys a glance at where each class is currently standing. Now keep in mind, this should not deter anyone from playing any class that they find fun. While I do understand that the classic player base are a bunch of meta-chasing people who will follow these logs to a T and play only the meta classes, you could play what you want, it's all viable. Black Fathom Deeps can be cleared by literally an entire group of fresh level 25s with no raid gear at all. If you're someone who wants to meta chase and be the absolute top DPS in a raid, then this might be for you, but for everyone else, don't let this deter you from playing the class that you find the most fun. Now moving on, let's talk about some of the consumables that are going to be valuable in Phase 2, courtesy of Wowhead. On our list here, let's start with some food buffs, right? Some of this has changed. I don't think Wowhead knew that the level cap for professions was going to be 200 when they wrote this article, so we'll just exclude anything over 200. As for food buffs, we have the Sagefish Delight, which requires 175 cooking skill and will give you 6 MP5 for 15 minutes when you eat it. We have the Dragon Breath Chili, which occasionally belches a flame at enemies struck in melee for the next 10 minutes, and it has a 5% proc chance. We have Heavy Kodo Stew, which will give you 12 stamina and 12 spirit for 15 minutes, and Spider Sausage, which will also give you 12 stam and 12 spirit. Moving on down to potions and elixirs, we have a ton of them. I won't go over every single one, but I'll just give some of the more notable ones. As you're going to see here, Elixir of Ogre Strength is still going to be the top strength elixir for this phase because the next one is not available at level 200 or lower. But we're going to get a new Elixir of Agility, which is going to give you 15 agility for 1 hour, so that's really nice. We have the Elixir of Frost Power for Frost Mages. We have the Elixir of Greater Defense for our tanks. We have the Mighty Troll's Blood Potion, which is going to regenerate 12 health every 5 seconds for 1 hour. The Fire Protection Potion and the Nature Protection Potion, which these might really come in handy for the Gnomerigan raid. Another big one that's going to help warriors out a lot here is going to be the Great Rage Potion, which drinking it increases your rage by 30 to 60, and it's on a 2-minute cooldown. These are going to be an absolute must for anyone trying to parse really well. And of course, we have our free action potions, which we have available to us now, so that's nothing new. The Lesser Invisibility Potion gives the Imbiber lesser invisibility for 15 seconds. I could see this actually spawning some new farming metas and things like that. Once you introduce invisibility elixirs into the game or stealth mechanics, people tend to find ways to do some pretty cool stuff. And then after that, let's look at some item enhancing things. We have the Solid Sharpening Stone from Blacksmiths, which is going to give you 6 weapon damage. You also have the Weight Stone for some blunt weapons. We have the Thick Armor Kit for anyone trying to apply some armor to their gear. We have Frost Oil. When applied to a melee weapon, it gives a 10% chance of casting Frostbolt at the opponent when it hits. We have Lesser Wizard Oil, so now we have a Wizard Oil for our casters to be using as well as some more enchants. I'm not going to list all of them. There are quite a few. I'm actually doing a full profession breakdown video for this next phase, so stay tuned for that. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the Stranglethorn Vale PvP event. I have to go on record here and say that I am extremely excited for this. When Blizzard posted the announcement video to this of Stranglethorn Vale with the sky turning blood red, I thought it was one of the coolest things ever, and I really am looking forward to this. And in the spirit of that, Wowhead posted some Hakar lore. If you guys want to check it out, I'll drop that in the description below to read through. I'm pretty excited for this. We don't know how it's going to work yet. but I am assuming it's going to be completely different than Ashenvale because that is what they said it's going to be. They said it's going to be nothing like Ashenvale. They're going to take what they've learned there and apply it going forward for Stranglethorn Vale. Stranglethorn Vale is a notorious PvP zone that we all know and love or hate. But I think it's going to be a really good time. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you think it's going to be? What do you think the event is going to entail? I'm loving all the theories that people are coming up with, so seriously, drop them down below. But anyways, guys, that's all the updates I've got for you today. Looking forward to this season. It's going to be a good one. We have tons of content coming, so if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video. And if you want to hang out with me live, I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/hammerdance. I'll drop a link to that in the description below this video. And if you want to join an awesome Discord community full of like-minded people who all enjoy geeking out over Season of Discovery and classic WoW in general, I'll drop a link to the Discord in the description as well. We will welcome you with open arms. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. So we're coming to the end of Season of Discovery Phase 1, and there's one question that I want to ask the community. Was Season of Discovery Phase 1 a success or a failure? We're going to talk about a lot of the pros and cons of Phase 1 of Season of Discovery in this video. So if that's something you're interested in, grab your coffee, sit down, and let's dive in. So I want to start off this video with talking about the pros of Phase 1 Season of Discovery. Now, it's important to note here that we're talking about Phase 1, right? We're going to judge if Phase 1 was a success or a failure, and then we're going to move forward and talk about things that we would like to see changed in Phase 2. So we're going to start with the pros, and the first thing that I want to talk about is every class feels different than Vanilla WoW, right? Every class has received new runes that actually can change how the class plays on a fundamental level. This has made a lot of the meme specs viable, which feels really good. I mean, look at Red Paladins, Boomkins can pump if you let them. The only one that still needs a lot of help is Shadow Priest currently, but I have a feeling that in the next phase, Shadow Priests are going to be really strong as well. So with the addition of adding these new runes, that added tons of exploration, tons of new things to figure out, tons of new metas being formed, and this also introduced 3 new tanks and a new healer, right? We have Warlock tanks, Shaman tanks, Rogue tanks, and the Mage healer. So one thing that this really did help with was the struggle of always having to find a tank and a healer for dungeons or for raids, and back in vanilla, tanking was not that fun, and healing wasn't that much fun either. So this has made it a lot easier to form groups. It's made it a little bit more accessible. People want to try out these new tanks, so there's an abundance of tanks, and people want to try out the mage healing, so there's more healers available for these groups. So overall, I think that's a very positive change. And a class that you may have played back in the day that was absolutely horrible, like Ret Paladin, and it was just a complete meme, is now extremely viable and does insane DPS. So overall, I think that's a pro, right? The new runes, the new exploration that came alongside of it, the new metas being formed, the new tanks, the new healers, that is a ton of content in itself, and I think that that is worth noting. Now, moving on from that, we've had some profession changes, right? We have new BIS items that are craftable at level 25, epics, right? We have the Void Touched gear, the Shifting Silver Breastplate,
I didn't
we have a lot
well,
of
my
cool
cell phone
things
doesn't,
that have been
sometimes it just
added,
doesn't
right? And these pieces
show
of gear
chat, but
are
yeah.
BIS for some classes,
Bro, I'm
and
like
they've
one-shotting
also
things,
introduced
like, just
new
like
quest
Mind
lines and
Blast
things, right?
into
So to
Shadow Word
unlock
Death
the
thing, like,
ability
dies,
to
or it's
craft
like at,
those
like,
new items, you have to
5%
go through a
HP.
pretty lengthy quest line where you have to run the raid, you have to talk to the dead Tauren in Ashenvale, you have to head out to Hillsbrad, and it's pretty cool to see new quest lines added to vanilla like that. And if you think about it,
Yeah,
even take a look at some of the
I'm
rune
not gonna
quest
bend the
lines,
knee
right?
and
Like
heal for a group.
Metamorphosis
I'm
or
only gonna
Divine
form my own
Storm.
groups as
These
the tank.
are pretty cool quests, and they
I had a
feel
really
pretty
rough
epic when you're
RFC,
doing it. So
like,
in my
I did
opinion,
RFC
that
twice
deserves
as
to be
the
on the
tank,
pro
but I
list
mean,
as
like,
well. That's a
very
lot of
impatient
nice
DPS,
and
like, keep
content.
pulling, like,
And we've gotten some
I can't
changes
blame
to
them.
PvP
Like,
rewards,
this is,
right?
like,
To
really
incentivize
slow
you
paced
to
with Priest
do
tanks,
Warsong
like,
Gulch or to do
always
the Battle for
thirsty,
Ashenvale
drinking,
event.
like,
The new
shaman
rewards
tank and
are
era.
great. The new Sergeant's Cloak is 1,000 times better than the old one, so there's a reason to actually farm that now. We also have 10-man raiding in Phase 1, right? 10-man raiding, it's not my favorite thing. I like the large scale, like 25 or 40-man raiding. I know a lot of people are going to criticize me for that, but there's something super epic about like walking into Molten Core or Blackwing Lair with 39 of your guild mates.
I did it at level 16 yesterday,
people
I
together
believe.
to cooperate
I
together.
waited
I know the
for,
content's not
I got a
super hard,
shaman
but
to
it's
purge
just,
that ghost
it's
so I
about the
could get
camaraderie,
Shadow
right?
Word
And
Death,
having
because
all
you
of
don't
these
get
people
like
come
purge
together
as a
to
priest
down
till
these
like
bosses
18.
and things that I love
Is the
about
next
like
level?
larger scale raiding, like
Yeah,
40-man.
so
But
I got that
25 would
early,
be nice too.
and
But 10-man raiding,
I
I would
wanted
put on
my
the pro
second
list for a
rank
lot
of
of
Mind
people.
Blast as
It has
well,
allowed
so.
them to jump into the
I
raiding
tanked
scene
it
for the
at
first time.
15, I
It's
think.
more
No, I
accessible,
waited
right?
till
You
it's
can be a
16,
small
so I
guild
tanked
or a
it
small
twice at
community,
16.
or even just a
Not
good
yet
group
at
of
17.
friends. You know, maybe
What were the
7
other
or 8
counts
of
in
you,
Shadow?
you
It
just
was like
hug
5
two
out of
people,
5 black
and now you
out,
have a raid group.
2 in
You do
this,
it every
and was
3
like,
days, so it's made it a lot more accessible to people. It's gotten people
okay,
into
wait,
raiding
I'm
who have
level
never even
17.
raided before. So I think 10-man raiding deserves to be on the
There's
pro
like 8
list
more
as well.
points, so
And then
it's
let's
like
talk about the
4
fact
here,
that these
2
are
here. Where's
level
the other
banded
2 go?
content
Like,
phases,
is
right? So
this?
phase 1 is 1
Shadow
through
Focus,
25.
maybe?
What this has done is it's allowed a lot of people who maybe don't have the time
Yeah,
and always feel left
notice your
behind
spirit up
to
to maybe
actually
spirit
stay on
tap?
par with everyone else. You don't need to play for 8 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, to stay on par with everyone, right? You can hit level 25.
I did it without engineering.
work a
That's another
full-time
thing I need
job,
to do is
a father or a
level up my
mother.
engineering.
It is possible.
I don't
It's
have it
not
yet,
that
but
hard. And I
something I'm
think
gonna do
that
for, like,
is
just
a
to help
huge selling
alleviate
point
the
for a
AoE
lot
threat
of
that,
people.
like, I'm
If
lacking
this was
right
a
now,
regular reset
then
of vanilla where
there
the
is,
level
like,
cap was 60,
Mind
people would have
Flay,
been
I
60
think?
and already clearing the
Mind
content
Seer,
3 or 4
not this,
days
but
into
like
the
the
launch.
rune.
And then those people
I
that
believe
normally
that
would be
comes
around level
from,
15 by that time because they have other
the
things
reputation,
to do,
right? Yeah.
they
So
feel
I'm,
left
like,
out and most likely
doing
drop
that
off
as
and
soon as
quit
I get a
by level
box, I go
25,
turn it
30 when
in
it
so I
starts to
can
slow
get
down a
friendly
little
as
bit. So
quick
I
as I
think the
can for
level
that,
banded
'cause
content
that would
phases
also
are a
do
huge
AoE
pro for
damage,
this season.
right?
And then the
But I'd
last
have to
pro that I want to talk
sacrifice,
about is I
Shadow
think
Word
that the
Death for
classic
it.
development team
I think
did
I
a
have 2
really
pairs of
good
gloves,
job
one for
at
like
keeping
trash,
this
and then
feeling
once I get to a
like
boss,
classic
I put on
WoW.
my
It
Shadow
still
Word Death
feels like
gloves. I
vanilla
think that's
WoW.
the way to go.
It still feels very classic in terms of the
Instead of, like,
exploration and
changing the
the
rune
questing
every
and
single
the traveling,
time.
right? Traveling
Reach a
takes a long
boss.
time. Yes, you can buy summons all over the world from warlocks if you have the money for that, but they kept it feeling like classic, which is super important because a lot of people were worried when we were first talking about this before it even launched, that with all these new abilities and all this stuff, people were like, oh, so we're basically playing Wrath of the Lich King just on, you know, in Azeroth, Kalimdor, and Eastern Kingdoms. It was just going to feel like Wrath of the Lich King. It doesn't. They did a really good job at keeping it feeling like classic. I think the tuning of the mobs out in the world was absolutely stellar as well. You cannot just blast through everything unless you're a hunter. You know, it still feels dangerous, right? You are more powerful, but the mobs are more powerful as well. So I think they did a really good job at balancing, adding all of this new content, changing all these classes, but still keeping it to feel true like vanilla World of Warcraft. So we've talked about some of the pros, and let's move on to some of the cons, because there are many cons as well. My first con that I want to talk about is there are some serious balancing issues with some of these classes, right? The thing is, I'm not sure if this deserves to be on the con list, simply because we are talking about classic vanilla style World of Warcraft, and let's just face it, the game isn't balanced, and it's not designed to be balanced. And I'd argue that that's part of the charm of the vanilla world. Now, some things are completely out of whack, right? Like we saw so many hunter nerfs and buffs and nerfs and buffs going off because hunters were just so far ahead of every other class at one point that it made it feel bad if you were playing anything else. And that is something that's not acceptable, and they did fix that. But I do think balancing is something that we're going to be working on throughout each and every phase. It's got to be extremely hard to balance all of these classes, with all of these new abilities coming and stuff like that. It's going to be a hard job, and I don't think everything needs to be perfectly balanced, right? There is always going to be a few classes that are just miles ahead of everyone else, and that's okay. That is vanilla World of Warcraft. People still love it. People still played it back when the only thing you needed in your raids was Fury Warriors. So people will still play, people will still enjoy it, but I do think that some of the balancing, like back what I'm talking about when hunters were using the Scorpid pet, and it was just ridiculous, that wasn't intended, and stuff like that does need to be nerfed, and Blizzard did fix it. Another con I want to talk about is the Battle for Ashenvale, right? This was supposed to be a really cool, like, world PvP event, and it started out kind of like that, right? It did feel really cool, like Horde versus Alliance in Ashenvale, and you're, you know, fighting the leaders and gaining your reputation and getting honor and all that, but it very quickly turned into just an open world Alterac Valley where both sides just rushed as fast as they can to kill the leaders. Most people go out of their way to actually avoid PvP, because they just want to win the event and get reputation as fast as possible. However, Blizzard has spoke about this in multiple posts, and they're talking about the next PvP event. It's going to be nothing like the Battle for Ashenvale, and they're taking what they've learned from this and using that going forward. So that is a con right now, but a pro for the next phase. Another con that I think we need to talk about is some of the runes like Metamorphosis or Divine Storm require groups of other players. I don't think I'll be streaming that long, but I'll definitely in acquiring these runes. And this was great back when everyone was acquiring these runes, but now that everyone has them and most likely is just raid logging, it could be kind of hard if you're a warlock right now trying to get Metamorphosis if you're not in a guild with people who are going to help you get it. There's not many people going out of their way to do those things currently at this time because most of the players who wanted those runes already have acquired them. So I could see this being a con going forward as we move through phases, right? They need to figure out a way to kind of make these runes soloable in past phases and things like that, just because, you know, let's say someone wants to try Warlock next phase and levels 1 through 25 are pretty bare and there's not many people doing it. It's going to be kind of annoying for them to go back and do it. I mean, I guess you can go back and do it at level 40, right, and just solo the whole thing, which you definitely will be able to do. But that kind of makes it feel a little weird, so I think they need to figure out a way to implement these runes a little bit better in coming phases so that it doesn't feel like you're kind of like exploiting and just going back and one-shotting everything to get the runes, because it doesn't really make sense like that. If that's the case, then just put it on the trainer for 1 gold and just be able to buy Metamorphosis. But I think there's a better way to design it going forward so that it will stay relevant and you'll still have to actually do that content
I remember
forward.
You were
the
doing
next one, this is a big one, and
that was like one of the things that you
know this
played.
and are watching videos about it currently, and that is going to be botters, GDKPs, and gold buying. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy GDKPs a lot. I think they're a lot of fun, and when you have a ton of alts, it's a fun way to make gold and add some camaraderie, and it's just it's enjoyable for some people. Some people don't like it at all, and I completely understand that as well. The problem with it is that it does encourage RMT, right? It encourages people to buy gold. It encourages bots to be relevant because people are buying a ton of gold. Now, GDKPs aren't the only reason people are buying gold. This is classic vanilla World of Warcraft, and gold is extremely valuable. So, naturally, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of botters. And what happens with this is that these botters inflate everything. You can't make any money. If you're someone who plays 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week after you get home from work, it is really hard to farm gold in that amount of time, simply because a lot of things are either ridiculously expensive and through the roof, or what you can normally farm and make gold on isn't worth any money. So that is something that I think needs to really change. I think it really does hurt the overall health of the game and the economy within the game. I know Blizzard is banning bots currently, but I feel like it's not as effective as it should be, because what happens is, let's say a botter gets to level 25, right? They bot for 7 days, they get reported 100,000 times, and they get banned on day number 10, right? The days leading up to their ban, they already botted, sold all these items, sold gold, did all this stuff, so it already affected the economy. Now they get banned, and they just have another account ready to go anyway. That, you know, these botters have hundreds of World of Warcraft accounts going at one time, hundreds of bots farming at the same time. So, okay, these 10 got banned, but I have another 10 on the way. It doesn't really work, and I think the underlying issue with it is that these bots need to be banned faster, right? Because if a bot has a 10-day lifespan from the time that it starts, it hits cap level, it farms for 6 or 7 days, sells all those items, acquires that gold, sells that gold, and then gets banned, it's still extremely lucrative for the botter, right? Because now they have another bot and they go again. If the botters got banned on day 1 or day 2, it wouldn't be as lucrative, it wouldn't be as profitable, and they probably wouldn't be as relevant. So I think that's one way to fix it. I'm not a game developer, I'm not sure, and I'm sure Blizzard is actively trying to figure out ways around this, because it is really hard. But that's something I do think needs to be fixed and really does hurt the overall health of the game moving forward. Now, the last con that I want to talk about is the time frame for Phase 1, right? A lot of people are already done with Phase 1 and raid logging. There's people quitting, there's people not playing anymore, there's people complaining. If you go on the forums, there's just a ton of posts of people complaining, you know, about that Phase 1 is lasting too long. And to an extent, I do agree, right? I have 2 level 25s, I have 2 or 3 alts that are around like 15, 20, 22, just to test out other runes and things like that. I've pretty much done everything there is to experience in the game. I've leveled fishing, I've leveled cooking, I've leveled blacksmithing, leatherworking, mining, skinning. I've done everything that there is to offer at this point in time, and I myself am definitely getting a little bored and waiting for Phase 2. Now, I think going forward, these phases should be on more of a time frame that's determined by the player base, right? So I think that for Phase 1, in my opinion, a solid amount of time for Phase 1 would be 5 to 6 weeks, right? It's only level 25. Most people are going to be 25 week 1, and then you have 4 or 5 weeks farming the same raid and doing the battle for Ashenvale, and then professions, and you level alts and things like that, or farm some gold. But Phase 2, you know, we're going 25 to 40. That's going to take a little bit longer. The people who do work full-time jobs and only have a couple of hours a day to play, it's going to take them a lot longer to hit cap level, which is understandable. I think for Phase 2, in my opinion, the sweet spot would be anywhere from 6 to 9 weeks at level 40. I think that would be good, but I do really feel like the best way Blizzard can go about these level banded content phases going forward is to poll the community via like an in-game mail, right? You open up your mailbox and you got a poll in there and you have to answer it and hit reply, and it sends it off to Blizzard. And I think around the 4 or 5 week mark for each phase, they should poll the community and say, hey, would you guys want the next phase to be coming sooner rather than later? Maybe give 2 estimated, you know, dates. They don't have to be solid dates that are set in stone, but 2 estimated dates of like, would you rather it come here or would you rather it come here? And poll the community. And then if the community is like, hey, we want like at least another month, that's fine. So then they can maybe send out another poll 2 weeks later and say, hey, how is everyone feeling? Is everyone enjoying this? Is everyone done? And then just go with the majority, right? If 70% of people are done with the phase and 30% are like, no, I'm still having fun, I'm leveling 10 or 11 alts, then yeah, pump out the new phase earlier. And I think that's probably the best way that they can go about doing it. It's polling the community, right? Then everyone's happy, at least the majority will be happy, and that's a good way to go forward. But yeah, so those are my pros and cons. And personally, I would say that Phase 1 for Season of Discovery was a success overall. There are some cons, but there's always going to be some cons, and a lot of these cons are just learning experiences for Blizzard to use and adapt to in these next coming phases. And they already are pretty active on fixing broken things and stuff like that. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I would say overall that it was a success. I've been enjoying it, and I am really looking forward to Phase 2. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you enjoying it still? Are you done with it? Are you bored? Do you think it was a success, or do you think it was a complete failure? Let me know down in the comments below. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It really does help me out a lot. And subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video. And if you want to hang out with me live, I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/hammerdance. I'll drop a link to that in the description below this video. And if you want to join an awesome Discord community full of like-minded people who all enjoy geeking out over classic WoW and Season of Discovery, we will welcome you with open arms. Link in the description as well. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening.
World of Warcraft Classic has finally gone and done it. They answered the people, and they released Classic Plus. Kind of. It's called Season of Discovery. A phased approach to the classic World of Warcraft featuring new takes on classes like a Warlock tank, or perhaps you've heard of the fabled Mage Healer. Each phase will have a separate level cap. There are runes that are scattered throughout the world which are unique to each class, granting new abilities that you can engrave onto your armor pieces, which will literally change how your class plays and functions. There's new world PvP and PvE content, as well as some new raids. Phase 1 was released on November 30th, and at the time of recording this, it is December 4th. I've leveled up my character, gotten plenty of the new runes, experienced a metric ton of players competing and playing the game, and I even got to participate in the new raid, Black Fathom Deeps. It's just the original Black Fathom Deeps 5-man dungeon, but it's had some changes. It's a little bit more difficult and there's some more mechanics. Let me take you through my Season of Discovery, talk about some of the good and the bad, and in the end, find out if you should try Season of Discovery and decide, should Blizzard continue with these seasonal game modes for the classic version of World of Warcraft? Let's jump into it. Or should I say, let's wait 3 hours for the queue of literally thousands of players trying to get into the game, and then once you get onto the server, you find out you can't make an alliance character, so you hop back into another multiple thousand player long queue, only to eventually get fed up and give up playing on a PvP server because you're more interested in the PvE changes anyway. We are now a role-playing. I decided to go with a human mage. In the release of Classic WoW, I actually played a gnome mage, but the problem with gnomes is that they are short. And I personally prefer to have my in-game character to at least somewhat reasonably depict me in real life. So being the definitely tall, definitely over 6 foot, and not just on dating apps person that I am in real life, I promise, it seemed human was the obvious choice. Now, I've learned more about WoW in the past few days than the rest of my entire life spent playing this game on and off. Competing with literally hundreds of players for a single wolf spawn that doesn't even have a guaranteed drop of the quest item you need, well, it does something to a person. You have to adapt, change, overcome. This is when I learned the meta of camping a single monster's spawn just in order to make quest progress, which I then continued to do for every single quest in the starting zone. Even though Blizzard added a hyper spawning system that allowed for certain mobs in more popular leveling areas of the game to spawn more and at a much faster rate, that still almost did nothing for the first few hours of this game's release. It was just that packed. I finished up in Northshire, and this is where you actually unlock your very first rune. For mages, you get an Ice Lance ability, which actually comes in so clutch, because essentially up until this point, if you wanted to instantly tag a mob before someone else, your fastest cast was an auto attack with your staff. Ice Lance definitely gave me the upper hand moving forward in terms of tagging mobs. It's not quite as good as Fire Blast, which you get later on, because Ice Lance is still a projectile, but we'll take it for now. I experienced my first death in the Fargo Deep Mine. Don't ask me how, it was literally so packed it was difficult to find a mob, and somehow I still managed to die. I killed Goldtooth and ended up getting to level 9 in just a couple of short hours. Leveling was much slower in the first few hours of the game's release, contrary to other Blizzard releases of the past with many options for servers. For Season of Discovery, they only originally gave us 6 servers to work with, promising that they would not be adding any more later on. But they quickly added another server because, according to the senior game developer for Classic, Josh Greenfield, there's full and then there's really full. But honestly, even though there were long queues and ridiculous competition for mobs and areas while leveling, it brought forth a sort of communal feel that you only really get during a new game's release. It was a dog-eat-dog world, but no one really got too angry. If you were just about to tag a mob and someone else came along and grabbed it right at the second you were about to, well, tough luck. I was constantly grouping up with other players when that made certain quests more viable. I learned that if somebody pulls an entire pack of enemies, you can actually steal one of them away if they haven't tagged it yet. I was experiencing nostalgia, community, but also something new. I got to level 10, assigned my first talent point, and killed Hogger, and that gave me my second rune, Fingers of Frost, which acts as a buff to a Frost Mage's chill effects. Mostly, up until this point, Classic felt relatively similar to any other Classic servers that I had played before. Day 1 was the Wild Wild West, and no one really knew anything about where to get the new runes, where to look for new abilities, or, to be honest, even where to kill mobs, because the game was just ridiculously packed. But true to its name, Discovery, I and many other players were really excited to see what the future held for us. I still had 10 other potentially class-changing and playstyle-deciding runes that I could unlock. I ended day 1 at about midnight my time. I was level 12, just about 13. My character looked about as badass as you can possibly look in Classic WoW, and honestly, I haven't been this addicted or excited for Classic WoW in a very long time. Day 2. What the fuck? People are already level 19. Okay, well now I was falling a little bit behind. By the end of today, I wanted to at least clear Dead Mines and kind of finish off the Westfall area, potentially moving over to Darkshore and Aberdeen if needed. The fighting for mobs continued, and if anything, Westfall was even more packed than the night before because everyone else had kind of caught up at this point. I got to level 14, traveled around pretty heavily between Red Ridge, Loch Modan, and even stood in a line with a group of players for these Trog bosses, which had an insanely long respawn timer compared to basically everything else in the game. Speaking of groups waiting for something, I was tasked with killing the Defias Messenger. There was a group camping his spawn. I politely asked if I could join them, and they said that they were full. Well, like I said, it's a dog-eat-dog world, so I promptly outskilled them and stole the Defias Messenger for myself. Some information was beginning to come out online of where you could acquire more runes for each of the classes, so I decided to do a bit of research and I found out a few more runes that I could unlock for Mage. I got my first healing rune, Regeneration, from a Defias Pillager in Westfall. Mages have a cool damage-based healing system where essentially you heal, but you also heal more by doing more damage, which is a super cool idea. Mage healing is something that I want to try in the future, but for the time being, I was just looking to top some DPS meters. Afterwards, I unlocked the Living Bomb Room, which I picked up from a Trog in Loch Modan. This is a fantastic fire damage over time ability that ends with an AoE. I also found a bunch of non-Elwyn Forest animals roaming around Elwyn Forest. By casting Polymorph on 6 of these out-of-place critters, I got myself the Enlightenment rune, which just gives you a flat damage increase and helps with mana regeneration. Not long after, me and a bunch of casters used fire spells on this frozen Murloc, unlocking the ability Burnout, which is an insane AoE DPS ability for the fire spec. Like I said today, I really only had one goal in mind. I wanted to finish a Dead Mines run, so I got myself to level 17 and I figured I could start looking for a group. I convinced this ragtag group of friends to bring me along despite the fact that we had 2 level 15s in the group. We made easy work of the Dead Mines. I managed to get myself one of my best in slot rings and we only had to jump on the wheel one time. Van Cleef was no more and I was on top of the world. I acquired the Staff of Westfall, and even though I had already probably played for 8 hours since I logged in this morning, I had absolutely no signs of slowing down. On my way over to Darkshore, I found out what playing on an RP server was really all about. This dwarf completely changed my perspective on World of Warcraft players forever. I mean, this dude was RPing so fucking hard. It was amazing. He was an absolute inspiration, and from this point forward, I will always make a point to. Anyway, Darkshore is a nice place for leveling, but I was exhausted. Level 19 and ready for bed. Beginning of day 3. The final day of leveling. The reason today had to be the final day of leveling is because my guild, OnlyFangs, had a BFD raid scheduled almost exactly 24 hours from now, which means if I wanted to be included in the raid, I needed to get to level 25 from level 19.5, and I had to do it today. Normally, that's not a very monumental task, but as mentioned, the world was still jam-fucking-packed. At level 20, I got myself to Ashenvale. This is where the world PvP takes place in Season of Discovery, although apparently it wasn't very active just yet, as there weren't too many level 25s on my server. This is also the location of BFD, the raid we would be going to shortly. I somehow organically stumbled upon a room for my class, which was one of the coolest moments that I actually experienced in Season of Discovery. I killed one of these mermaids, which dropped a book and hinted at arcane power if I found these crystals around the Zoram Strand. After finding 3 of the crystals, I unlocked Arcane Blast, which sounded seriously overpowered. It makes the mage arcane spec completely viable. It also helps a ton with mage healing. You might remember from the original version of Classic that Arcane was one of the worst specs you could have chosen as a mage. There's definitely going to be some interesting builds around this rune, and I was excited to see what those would look like later on. Level 20, I made my way back to my class trainer, and my god, level 20 is so good on a mage. Evocate, Blizzard, and most importantly, Blink. You see, in Season of Discovery, there is only one mount available for players in Phase 1, because the level cap is 25, and in Classic WoW you can't unlock the riding skill until level 40. However, in Ashenvale, you can get mounts that can only be used within Ashenvale. They're somehow unlocked through the open world PvP that I was talking about in that area. Either way, Blink was a massive upgrade. Any class that has mobility options, from hunters with aspect of the cheetah to druids and shamans with different speed increasing forms, it definitely gives you a huge advantage in terms of getting around the game. While I was questing around in Red Ridge, something pretty amazing happened. I got a random blue bind on equip item to drop. The Prospector Axe. The server is super new, so items like this are really in high demand, but at the same time, it can be difficult to sell it for a decent price because of the lack of gold that's currently been brought into the game. We haven't really had the time for prices to regulate or inflation to set in. Either way, I was stoked to put this on the auction house. There were a couple of other offers up, but using my marketing degree for the first time in my life, I undercut the other sellers by a few silver. And I put it up for 4 gold and 99 silver to subconsciously convince any potential buyers that they were getting a bargain. I was questing my way into Duskwood when some of my guildmates decided it's time we try out the Wailing Caverns, which is an instance that is very, very far away. The entire process took us about 2.5 hours from beginning to end and severely cut into my remaining leveling time, but that's okay. It turns out my marketing tactic ended up working, by the way, and I was now rich as fuck. 9 gold in the bank, 3 days into a server's release. Not bad. The day was beginning to wear on me as I went back to do more leveling in Duskwood, slogging my way through the early 20s while still competing with mobs time and time again. But then, a stroke of luck. A random group was asking for others to join them in the stockades. They were all almost level 25 with many quests to share. This absolutely boosted my morale by not only getting me to level 24, but basically halfway to 25 as well. After some elite quests in Red Ridge, it was finally time. I had finally made it. Level 25. Now, one thing I would like to point out here is that max level is such a subjective thing. Like, normally in any other time that I've played World of Warcraft, getting 25 is such a non-monumental moment. But in Season of Discovery, because of the lower level cap, I almost got the same amount of dopamine hitting level 25 as I might hitting level 60 in other versions of WoW Classic. Like, it's not impressive, it doesn't take a lot of time, and you've basically just completed the beginning of the game, but damn, did it feel good. I was so excited to be level 25 and begin working on this strange endgame meta, but in the middle or even early part of the classic WoW that I originally knew so well. I slept well that night and woke up this morning with a new idea. Day 4, raid day. I figured I might respec fire for the raid. With the current runes that I had unlocked, many of them being fairly high damage in terms of fire, I think it might actually be better than my current frost loadout. Plus, you don't unlock the rank 5 version of Frostbolt until level 26, but you actually unlock the upgrade for Firebolt at level 24. We had a few hours before raid, so I started training up my professions. Professions were capped at level 150, so I decided to work on first aid. So far, I hadn't really picked up any other professions because I had just been focused on leveling. I think at some point in the future I'm going to go for something like engineering or tailoring, but I haven't decided yet. I figured while wasting some time, I would try my hand at some Warsong Gulch instanced PvP. Never before has Warsong Gulch been capped at level 25. Always the level ranges have been 10 to 19 or 20 to 29. Never before had we seen twinks or people make accounts specifically for level 25. So I figured this would be pretty interesting. I played a few games, we won a couple, and I was getting a fairly decent amount of honor kills and doing a decent amount of damage, but one thing I noticed was hunters were just absolutely destroying everyone. Now, this is understandable. Hunters have always been a favorite of min-maxers, especially in the earlier level brackets, as the DPS they can do along with their pet just makes them an excellent choice for the early game. But my god, the hunters, man, and this was even after they got a nerf within the first couple of days after Season of Discovery's release. they just shot through me like butter. It didn't help that I only had about 550 hit points. Anyway, the time was now, the moment that I had been waiting for since I stepped foot in Northshire just a few days prior with hundreds of other players. All of us having the same dream of potentially stepping foot into the new, but kinda not new raid, Black Fathom Deeps. My guild has 990 plus members because they spam invited when the server was released. So needless to say, I didn't have the highest expectations, but we actually managed to scrounge together 2 separate raid groups, and we were entering at the same time. I was actually really excited to see what this raid looked like. As a primarily Alliance player throughout my life, I've never really done much of the original 5-man dungeon of Black Fathom Deeps, because it's so out of the way and it can be difficult to find groups for usually, so for me this was going to be a pretty new experience inside and out. We had 2 tanks, 2 healers, 3 caster DPS, but I was the only mage. Nice. Maybe I would get my chance at some killer loot. Oh, by the way, I should mention, they also completely reworked all the loot in the dungeon, so the raid drops some seriously powerful gear, especially in the level 25 range. Stats like this you would have never seen on gear in this level bracket in the original classic WoW. Basically, all of us had no clue what we were getting into. We didn't know what to expect, and we decided to just jump in and learn through trial and error. So naturally, we wiped on the first boss. He's actually super annoying to deal with because of a bunch of knockback abilities, but afterwards we got him down on our second try. I was dead though. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, also, I rolled a 1 on this cape, and that was definitely an upgrade. Hopefully that's my only bit of bad luck for this raid. The second boss was a giant turtle who shot out tons of these little bubbles. Basically, don't stand in stupid and you're totally fine. This guy, we got him down first try. No caster gear though. The third boss, Lady Cerevis, another pretty simple fight. She has some ads that you need to deal with and a cast that you have to interrupt. These were seemingly a little too easy so far, and I knew the difficulty would get harder with each boss, but we had heard some rumors that this raid wasn't the easiest thing in the world, so I was growing a little apprehensive. Oh yeah, and once again, no caster drops. The fourth boss! A goddamn Murloc. To be honest, I had almost no issues with this fight. Basically, it gets a little chaotic and you need to run around avoiding a ton of shadow Murlocs and these pools of purple, but we kept losing our healers to this mechanic, which resulted in a few wipes. We got him down on our third try, and at this point, I breathed a sigh of relief. Maybe that was the toughest part of this new raid. Maybe. Oh yeah, and again, no caster drops. The fifth boss, Lorgus. What a name. What a name. This guy's annoying. He drops totems down, and one of them, the lightning totem, acts as a reflect, so if you damage the boss, you get hit pretty hard from the lightning totem. It's super important. Your whole raid DPSs this totem every time it spawns. He also has a whole host of other annoying mechanics, but the key to your group's survival is dealing with these lightning totems. We wiped a few times here, but eventually got a bit of a rhythm that allowed us to take him down, though it was a pretty long fight. Now, this guy is literally wearing caster gear. He's gotta drop something for me, right? Nope, all leather. The sixth boss, Twilight Lord Kelleris. If you're a casual raid group like we were, maybe just stop at 5 bosses. Like, don't even go to this boss until you guys have better gear and, you watch a few guides and maybe wait until it gets nerfed. This guy's insane. Seeing as we really went into this raid basically blind, we got completely wrecked. He has a few mechanics that really threw us for a loop. First of all, he puts 2 members to sleep and into a dream world where they need to deal with their own set of mechanics there. He also throws up non-stop dots which do a ton of damage that need to be dispelled so much you almost need a dedicated healer just to dispel people. And on top of that, if you stand in purple, you're dead. It's positional, mechanic heavy, role dependent, and definitely pretty damn difficult, especially for Classic WoW and especially at level 25. This isn't even the last boss of the raid, there's still one more to go after that. But unfortunately for us and my group, after wiping a couple of times, we decided to stop there for the night. We were honestly pretty happy with our progress, 5 of 7 bosses done, going in completely blind. I was happy with the results, and we'll try this Twilight Lord again in a few days after the reset. Unfortunately for me, I literally did not get a single piece of loot in that raid. Even all of the greens that dropped from trash were either not upgrades or I lost the roll. But that's okay, I had an absolute blast, and I'm already stoked to head back into BFD. All in all, Season of Discovery has been an amazing experience so far. I'm going to take you through some of my favorite things about Season of Discovery, and then some things that I think could use some work or I would like to see added in the future. But there's something here that I need to mention. I'm assuming we're all MMO players here. It would be strange if you were somehow not an MMO player and you made it this far into this video. But you guys know that feeling. That feeling you get when you really, really want to play an MMO. You know, the itch. The feeling that almost no other game ever seems to capture, and even when you return to some of your old favorite MMOs, it never really scratches that itch exactly like you wanted it to. Well, for me, Season of Discovery actually did it. I actually felt like a young Waydot again, playing through World of Warcraft for one of the first times. I don't know if that's just because of the community around me and the excitement of starting a fresh server, or if it has been the changes to the game and the classes and the lower level cap to start with. I really can't pinpoint exactly what did it, but it scratched that itch for me. If you're watching this and you've been playing Season of Discovery, let me know. How has this season been for you? I'm genuinely curious. But let's get into some of my favorite parts of this version of Classic WoW. Number 1, and it basically has to be number 1 here, the class changes are so cool. Warlock tank, rogue tank, mage healer, allowing for these different playstyles in a game that people are so familiar with and have been playing for almost 20 years is an absolute breath of fresh air. That was much needed and has been an absolutely unique experience. Number 2, the phased level cap approach is a super cool way to experience Classic WoW. Basically, right now the level cap is 25, and because of that, all of the lower level zones and areas are and will continue to be completely packed until the next phase comes out. It also shortens the game in a sense at the beginning, making it so that potentially creating alts in the future isn't such a daunting task. Number 3, the new raid. Obviously, creating new PvE content for people to enjoy is something people have been asking for from Classic WoW for a very long time. And so far, it seems like BFD was actually really well done, if fairly difficult for us to complete. And finally, the sense of community. This, of course, is not exclusive to just Season of Discovery. We see the same with every release of a new iteration of Classic, especially in the beginning, but for some reason, I had an even stronger feeling of community with Season of Discovery. It's really been an awesome experience learning and exploring and discovering the new parts of the game with everyone else. Now, normally when I do these types of videos, I bring 4 positives and 4 negatives at the end of the video. However, I'm gonna be completely honest here, I don't really have 4 negatives to bring. So I'm just gonna talk about 2 things that I think should be implemented or at least thought about in the terms of future releases of seasonal content. Number 1, this is a bit of an impossible ask, but somehow allowing the correct amount of server space and layers to exist so that you can maintain the massive feeling of thousands of players playing, but maybe reduce queue times and competition for questing and mobs in certain areas. Like I said, probably an impossible task, but I think this would do so much for new players and returning players coming back to the game. Number 2, this is a limited time game mode, meaning that once all the phases are complete, Season of Discovery will be over. I would love to see other seasons with different iterations or takes on Classic WoW in the future, or even a potentially non-seasonal version of this that is just continuously updating, something akin to what people have been wanting from a Classic Plus. Anyway, folks, should you try Season of Discovery? Well, if you're a fan of Classic WoW, this is definitely the time to play. It's a completely unique take and a different way to play the game, and it's so active right now, you won't be missing out on anything. I'm going to be continuing to play this game, and if this video does really well, I'll make another video documenting my progression in Phase 2. So make sure to drop a like and comment something to help me get this video out there to the algorithm gods. I want to say a massive thank you to all of you who made it to the end of the video. If you really enjoyed the video, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description, but I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.
Time to show off the thick loot you got from RFC. Oh, boys, if you missed the RFC yesterday, I mean, look at these gloves. Look at this shield, dagger, chest, cloak. That's the update on Czar Flex. I mean, Czar Stomp. We're looking so damn good. You don't have Alliance characters? Most of my characters are allies. This is one of my only hordes. Why do I hate the Horde? I mean, I don't hate the Horde. I just think Alliance has better cities, better towns, better music, better lore, better quests, better NPCs, better role-playing. I think Alliance is just better in every possible way. But yeah, like I said, I don't hate the Horde. The Horde's fine. Oh, what up, Thrall?
All members of the Horde are equal in my eyes, adventurer!
6 light leather, 7 light leather, 8 light leather, and boom. Let's make our boots. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I think you guys were right on making, using leatherworking on this challenge. So far from leatherworking, I have embossed leather boots, 2 stamina, 2 spirit, embossed leather vest, 2 stam, 4 stam, 2 spirit. Yeah, it's worth it. At this point though, the only thing I need from leatherworking are the Hillman shoulders, right? And then I can drop it for Herb Alk. Bro, this quest is grays. I'm abandoning this one. I don't care. I am not grinding gray mobs. Soda Poppin's gonna come out of nowhere and start making fun of me. All right, abandoned quest. Yeah, we're abandoning that. No shot. I'm not killing gray mobs. Let's go do centaurs and raptor heads. I have no idea how crushing works. Oh, 3 levels higher? Oh. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Dude. Yeah, Czar Stomp is pretty damn strong, boys. Yeah, I like the shield. I like the shield. Like, if I had dual wield there, yeah, I might be doing a little more deeps, but... Well, even would I have? I did 21 DPS on that last pull. I don't even know if I would have done more deeps. Barak, Kodo Bane. This is also one of the NPCs that killed Rav. Can we do it, Czar Stomp? To make it even harder, I'm gonna pull an extra NPC too. Just to flex on Rav a little bit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was talking to Rav off stream about like, dude, what is going on here? I don't think Rav had Way the Earth. In Rav's defense, I don't think he had this. Guys, Way the Earth is so OP. It makes you into a literal tank. When you're out in the world, you're a tank from this. Can you break down your shaman leveling spec? You know, I'm still kind of testing things out. Oh shit, we just got the patrols. One sec. Okay. Bro, if these came at a worse time, that could have been lethal. That could have been really tough. Oh wow, look, Varag the Dervish. I am summoned, intruders. He came out after my first kill. No, we got ninja'd. F. Okay, we have to kill some more to get him to resummon. I can feel a green leather bag is about to drop. If I get a green leather bag in the next 60 seconds, I will personally gift you a sub. Oh look, Varag spawned again. Dude, there's no way it took you half an hour to get the spawn yesterday. There's no way that mathematically adds up. Bro! You have got to be kidding me. This griefer. He stole my... Bro, I worked long and hard for that. Zara Stomp. You're getting a little too risky, bro. Pull it back, Zara Stomp. Pull it back. Oh my, dude. I just got savory recipe on hardcore. Bro. Yep, we're gonna have to level cooking. We're definitely gonna have to level cooking. Okay, he's gonna spawn. He's gonna spawn now. We head back. We head back. He's gonna spawn right now. Oh, he is spawned. This is my Varog. This is my Varog. This is mine. Come on, get him, Zara Stomp. Easy clap. Easy clap. How long did that take? Not half an hour. I guess I can't complain that much. Asmon is a dick? Wait, why is Asmon a dick? I'm a big Asmon fan. I don't know what you mean by that. I agree with that statement. This community is toxic. I don't know, is it? I think from my experience, how do I say this really calmly? From my experience, it seems to be that when any community gets too large, it stops becoming a community and it becomes more of a mob. When any group of people becomes too large, it becomes untamed and it's hard to control and it becomes a mob. And a mob is a much better word. Oh, Hezreal's over here. And I think Asmon having like 50k viewers or like 100k at some points, rip Holler level 2. It's you can't really just be like, oh, his community, this, that. It's like, dude, it's 100k people. Like 100k concurrent. Like I've had like 15, 20k concurrence before, and that it's like impossible to control. It's like a mob of, at that point it's just like, yeah, I don't know. So I think I have a bit more empathy for that. It's like, no, I don't know. It's just a mob of people, you know? It represents humanity to some degree, yeah, and yeah, kind of. I think with a small community, you can curate it really well. If you have a stream with a couple hundred viewers, you can really do a good job of like curating, you know, that. When it's 10, like 100k, not so much. All right, let's try Hezreal. Probably should have killed the low levels first, but I mean, these guys are getting absolutely slain. Oh, these guys might be pissed I stole their Hezreal. Sorry. Oh, Munchies, you're the one that stole my head from earlier. Oh, he already has it, okay. Man, honestly, man, Zara Stomp is feeling so strong, boys. I remember you hit a personal record, probably broke it again doing Torghast. It was wild. One of the weirdest realizations for me as a streamer, and I didn't make this realization until a few months ago, when I was really looking at my analytics, is that the peak of my streams in terms of viewer peaks have always been doing PvE. Every time. My peak of my stream, viewer peak, was in New World doing leveling content. It was doing Torghast when Legion, or was Torghast Legion? No, when, what expansion? BFA? Was whatever Torghast.
Shadowlands.
BFA maybe?
Shadowlands, my guy, for
confused.
Torghast.
Shadowlands, yeah. Leveling and hardcore, of course. SoD. Viewer raids. Tournament stuff, like, yeah. Every single one of my peak things has been doing PvE, and I've done PvP the majority of my career. So, I didn't actually make that realization for a long time. It's really interesting. New World had 1 million concurrent players on Steam. That's one of the largest, that is the largest MMO launch in the last ever. Like, or not, maybe not ever, but in the last decade. Like, it was so successful that first week, man. Classic had more. I mean, besides the WoW IP. I just got a loincloth. Oh no, not another loincloth. Oh, I have to wear them too. Oh my gosh, the loincloth is back from Zarmon. Oh, man. Oh, not on a Tauren, dude. Look at me. Oh my gosh. All right, boys, we're back to the loin. Those thighs, you like that? Today I was asked a CAPTCHA code logging into WoW. Really? Are you sure you didn't get scammed? Woo! Perfect time to ding. Jeez. That was a little close. Okay, we're good. Ding level 18, boys. There we go. Okay, it's this guy. Okay, Hunter, this level 21 Troll Hunter is pulling it. I'm gonna tank it just to see how it would have felt if he wasn't here. Okay, I'm getting kind of slapped. I'm getting definitely slapped. Hello, team. Okay, I'm running. Oh my gosh. Team! Okay, I'm full out. Full out. 100% out. Holy hell. Is that guy gonna die? Okay, no, he's fine. Without people here, I think I was dead. I have aggro on all of this. Okay. Bro. Okay. All right, if I was full solo on that, I think we're toast. Yeah, I know we can loot the banner. Yeah, we're fine. It's just if I was full solo on that, like if there was 0 people around me, I'm dead there, right? Or I might have got away. I wouldn't have completed the quest though. I might have got away with my Earthbind run, but I wouldn't have completed the quest.
Blood and thunder.
Oh, I forgot that's an achieve. Easy collab, baby. There we go. In SSF, that would be hard. I mean, technically, this is an SSF tune. Having said that, we're playing an MMO. So if there's other players that come up, you can't stop them. It's a virtual world. But it is SSF. It's an SSF challenge. WC or DM first? What level? I think we'll do Wailing Caverns first. I'm thinking, yeah. What level do I get? Frost Shock. 20. Yeah, 20, bro. I can kite. At 20, I'm way less scared. Anything hits the fan, boom, Frost Shock. You know what I mean? Ghost Wolf, Frost Shock. Yeah. It gives me a good out. Is it just me or does the Barons suck? I used to not like the Barons, but I feel like it's slowly growing on me. What fingers do I use for my keyboard? 1 through 4. Number 1, I use my ring finger. Number 2, I use my middle finger. Number 3, I use my middle finger. Number 4, I use my pointer finger.
And pinky on shift.
Oh, I don't have mana. Jeez, bro. I was answering the Twitch chat. Dude, if I died right there, it would have been your guys' fault for sure. Because I was answering the question. That wouldn't have counted. You should really use your dishwasher. Dude, I got another savory recipe. That's my second one. That's gotta be rare, right? There's no way that's not rare. 2 of them? I never get these.
Hey, how you doing?
Ding, 19, boys. Let's go. I think they're ready. So we're gonna do it. Oh, by the way, the hunter is level 24, but he's naked. So it's a naked 24 hunter, a 21 priest, and a 19 shaman. That's our group. Naked hunter, priest, shaman, 3-man. We feeling all right with that, boys? Yo, guys, they're saying another option is ding 20 today and do Wailing Caverns first thing tomorrow. I think they're kind of afraid that I'm gonna die on Verdun. You think we need to wait? Wait, where's our priest? Our priest is offline. Wait, our priest is oomed. Oh, wait. Oh, he's back on. Oh, he's right there. Okay. Deej says, I have extra stakes. If I die in this dungeon, I have to IRL RP as a troll in full blue makeup. OMG, no dying. Okay, that's our squad. Let's see how this feels. Hunter's doing like 50 DPS. I'm liking that. While being naked, I'm really liking that. Wow, you guys have a lot of faith in me. 4.6 million channel points on yes. 1.4 million channel points on no. Maybe this will be easier than I thought, boys. All right. Yeah, if anyone dies, we have to complete the entire dungeon without anyone dying. Our priest is here. Our hunter's here. Don't F me. Okay. Deal. Oh, our hunter's AFK. His pet's here. That's all we need, baby. I feel like decently tanky. Priest has good mana retention. I like that. No way, this is my first time catching Zard live. Yo, what's good, Hobo Pagans? We're live around this time every day. On the weekdays. On the weekends, we're spending time with the family. Alright, here we go. Skill not high enough. What a mistake. I can't skin these. My skill... What a mistake. What an absolute tragedy. Okay, so the one thing I'm worried about right now is our DPS seems pretty low. Bro, the pet has more life than I do. Wait a minute, hear me out. We just have the pet tank Verdon. I'll switch to Flame Tongue, and we have... Ooh, is that an upgrade? Guys, 2 stamina or 4 agility? 2 stamina is a lot of stamina. Look at that transmog. I think I'm gonna put it on, at least for now. Look at that mog, bro. Look at that mog. I look so troll, man. I have a loincloth and a leather harness. There's no way I'm not being trolled by Blizzard. Like, what? So, with this on, my armor's at 27. With this arm, my armor's at 27. Oh, man. Yeah, I think the stamina actually is better. I'm a little scared that our DPS is a little too low for Verdon, because I'm just gonna have to tank it for so long. Bro, what if we just have the pet tank Verdon? I feel like that's just smarter. Like, just way smarter. Oh yeah, you're right, I do have the leatherworking buff on that one. Yeah, let me change that up. Oh, we pulled. Who's looting, man? Yo, focus up. We need to make sure our priest does not get slept. Very critical. Oh, we got aggro from the back. Okay, let's just line. Our hunter slept. Just line. Line. This is fine. Oh, if he gets slept, I can tremor him, huh? Alright, let's try it right here. Tremor the sleep. Oh my gosh. Okay, a lot of these are highly earth resistant, it seems like. I have tremor down, so it's gonna break the sleep again. Oh, wow, tremor. Totem, boys. Yeah, this feels okay so far. This feels decent. I'm starting to think we just have that pet tank, like, and I go dual wield Flame Tongue.
Twitch Prime.
Easy clap. Wave aggro from the back. Got it. Bro! I just got so low. My priest is completely tapped. Bro, I don't know about this. Bro, I don't know about this. Chat, I don't know. I don't think this is happening. If I'm ever low, like under 30%, taunt is huge here. I think. I'm so sussed. I'm so scared. I'm very scared. Oh my gosh, no, we just pulled like 3 or 4 extra mobs. Okay, yep, run back. Kite it out. Oh, our priest is zoom. This could be a run out angle. This could be a run out angle. Kite it out. We need to conserve mana. This could be pots. This could be run all the way out. Okay, the priest has a little mana to work with. Let's fight a sec. Oh my gosh. Line of sight, healing. Kill the low one, Holy dude, this was way, like, this is way harder than I thought it would have been. Okay. Okay, we've survived this pull. That was not easy. Yeah, that was not easy, boys. The plays that had to come out to just live that pull, that shouldn't have been a hard pull. That should not have been that hard of a pull, man. You played well there. Dude, like we're doing like mouse over earth shocks, freaking totem dancing left and right. Like this was supposed to be the easy part, man. This is supposed to literally be the easy part. I actually have a bad feeling about this. Not this boss, the tree boss. I have a bad feeling about the tree boss. This boss, I think we're gonna be fine. Can we have the legs? One time, Blizzard. I need it. I really need it. Please. Okay, we need Crush's shield then. We need Crush's shield. We need it. Right here, baby. If the shield doesn't drop and the legs, I don't know. Come on. Come on, Crush. Come on. Come on, Crush. Give me the shield one time. Oh yeah, let's wait 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, I can't even loot him. Bro! Did shield drop? If so, don't loot. Just check. Usually the gray shield drops, but only one person can loot it. Yeah, there we go. Got it. This is actually an upgrade, right? Do we all agree this is an upgrade? Yeah, I mean, it for sure is. Extra block. I lose. Yeah, it's definitely better. Cool. Good thing we did that. Nice. Okay, I have the green shield now. I actually take a lot less damage. It's an extra 100 armor. It's a big deal. It's like an extra 1 or 2%. Words of encouragement.
Ooh, this or that. Either you or Zaryu have to die in this dungeon. Who are you choosing? You know what, dog?
Oh, wait.
Zaryu just became a parent, man. Real talk. Dude, I can only fathom, you know, taking care of a newborn on top of not trying to die.
Yeah, exactly.
So if it boiled down to it, and, you know, it was either him or me, we do it for the kid. Yeah. I dress up as a troll. I take the L.
There it is.
Because, like,
Steve is a good guy.
We wouldn't want to have to have him grind up off stream, man. Lose sleep over it. I take the L.
Yeah.
For the new father.
All right, perfect. Perfect. There it is. So let's let Deej die then. We're good with that. Dude, what? Okay. Kite it out. 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 I think the blue raptor called for help and the boss helped. Oh shit. We kite it out. Slowly but surely, boys. That's what we do. We've got mana to work with. We're not dead yet. Keep kiting him. Keep kiting him. Kill, 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 kill. Kill the skull, kill the skull, kill the skull, kill the skull. D just slept. I woke him up with the tremor totem. Kill the skull. Why is there an ectoplasm behind us? Oh god. There's another ectoplasm! Okay, this could be a run out angle. This could be a run out angle. I got slept. Oh no, the bear. Okay, we're all holding hands. This is good. This could be a run out angle. There's two that are really low though. Bro, we can maybe do it. We just have to kill the low HP ones. Bro, no. Are we really running out on this? We could maybe do it, guys. Listen. I have aggro in all of them. I got slept. 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 Oh, shit. Yeah, run out. Run out. Run out. Run out. Okay, I'm running it. I'll run out. All out. All out. All out. Oh, my gosh. Phew. That was close. Holy shit. No one died. We're fine. We're fine. False alarm. False alarm. Oh my gosh. We're good. We're good. Okay.
None can stand against the Serpent Lords.
Alright. Forced on the sleep, no problem. Mouse over Shadowlock to sleep, no problem. Guy's getting completely obliterated. Good night. Okay, so on this fight, we actually had like 50, 60 DPS. That didn't feel bad. Oh, these serpent shoulders are actually a massive upgrade for me. Wait. Don't loot these. Don't accidentally loot these serpent shoulders. Yeah, those are massive for me. And then there's some cloth shoulders there too. Okay, so these shoulders gave me 59 more armor. So now my total armor is 31% reduction.
Bro, what the fuck is my luck?
And that's without any shield stacks or anything.
The last two characters, like my mage got that Cat's Eye Emerald
Do you think I'm actually dead?
first mob. Same with this character.
My confidence is
God
actually
damn.
getting lower
I
and
think
lower
even
every
my
pull.
second, like,
I was pretty
3
confident
characters in a
going
row,
in,
the
but
first
yeah,
mob I kill, I get
actually
the
kind of
cat's eye
agree. I don't know if
Emulator.
I can do Verdun. Come on, Lord Pythus. I'm really gonna need Stinging Viper from you, Lord Pythus. Really bad, man. Alright, the last 2 times I've done Wailing Caverns, I've seen Stinging Viper drop. I saw it on my mage. I saw it on my... What else did I see it on? I saw it on my mage and like one other thing. This is the one time I actually need it. Oh, on my druid. I saw it on my mage and my druid. I couldn't use it either time. Blizzard one time.
The coils of death will crush you.
Dude, that's not line of sight. Okay. Dude. Dude, I'm stuck. Holy shit. Yeah, don't watch. Yeah, that's not line of sight, guys. If you didn't know, that was a educational video teaching you guys what not to do. Alright, come on, baby, come on. Come on, baby. I need this. Blizzard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not good. It's not good at all. Since I didn't get that weapon, it's fine. I can still get the tail spike. As long as this damn cloak doesn't drop. Actually, this cloak could be decently good for me too.
Alright,
but
so I know
almost rather
exactly
prefer
what
the tail
this quest
spike,
gets
no
me to
cap.
do. Well,
My
Rusted
next roll will be
Experience, and wanted me to
63.
do that, but clearly people are fucking always
88.
doing the Ignition quest, so I
Sorry
think
to prove you
I'm
wrong
not
on
gonna
that,
wait
my bad,
around
dude.
for it. I know it
First
it
person
sends
to ever
me
be
right
happy
over
about
to
a tail
do
spike. Yeah.
Cat's Eye Emerald quests. So already did that. So then it's gonna make me do a logout skip and like go to Orgrimmar.
Easy
So
clap.
may as well do that and like get in.
Oh yeah, the real
RFCN.
reason I want to hit 20 is because I can put on 5 stamina wrists and a 3 stamina cloak. I kind of forgot about that. That's the reason I want to ding. Oh, our priest is low on mana here. Okay, this is a little scary. Value War Stomp. We have a patrol coming. Don't think the patrol's gonna pull. The patrol pulled. The patrol pulled. I should have earth shocked that. Okay, we have 4 mobs out. Come on, just kill this one. It's really low. Okay. There's another one that's also really low, but I don't want to go out there. I think we just hit this one. Okay, let's kill the skull now. 3 mobs, 3 mobs. Good. Okay. Okay. We lived. We lived. It's fine. And I actually get hit like kind of surprisingly hard. 5-stack shield mastery. Like, I don't know, man. Ooh. When we ding up 20, we're gonna get like over another 100 life too. So I'm gonna be a little over 800 life before the boss, assuming I ding. Time for scum, boys. Let's go. Okay. This is looking really nice. My priest is going pretty fast, but... slow and steady. Perma full HP. I'm fine with it. Perma full. Easy clap. Easy clap. Immune to Earthshock. True. Come on, give me the dagger. Not the blue cloak. Not the blue cloak. Hey, okay. Another big upgrade. I like how I used that last hook dagger of strength for one pull. Oh! Or with that, baby. It looks like Crush's shield. That's an upgrade. Let's go. Yes. Any little bit, boys. Oh, wow. I feel tanky with that. Look how tanky that looks. Deej says he has 175 shots left until he's out of ammo. Save him for boss? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's punching now. Oh gosh. Czar Stomp. His damage is the same because it's all his pet anyway, bro. Doesn't even matter. Czar Stomp. Searing Totem does it again. Dude, like the only thing I'm afraid of is our damage is just so bad. I'm gonna have to tank this tree for like 3.5 minutes, bro. Make the hunter pet tank it. I think I tank it, and if I take too much damage, we have the hunter's pet taunt off me. Okay, I'm gonna get them in the voice call. I'm gonna get them in the voice call for this. Yo, what's up, bro?
Nothing much, man. How's it going?
I'm nervous. I'm really nervous for this, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I have full faith in us. I wouldn't be out here in my native loins if I didn't, dog.
Hell yeah. All right, I like it, Deej. You're gonna be able to, like, okay. I have 900 life.
Okay.
And I have like almost 900 armor. I think I'll be fine. But I feel like if we call out taunt, like I dip down to 30%, I think we just press the bear taunt, we could always all jump.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
We could do that. Alternatively, we could just let my bear take the L. I've got improved revive. And so as long as the taunt from the earth shock sticks after the bear perishes and it doesn't get squirrely on me, I could improved revive him, min pet him up. By then, if your resources are running low, the bear should be good to go and ready for a second taunt. We could also do that.
My only concern with that is the YouTube comment section is gonna say that I copped out by not tanking it.
Nah, fuck them, dude.
Like, dude.
They'll say anything regardless, bro. You don't know how many times I've gotten the comments like, oh, easy, this is on a hunter. No challenge on hunter. I think the important thing, bro, is to make sure that we survive.
Right. Well, let's pull Serpontis first, and then we can chat.
But I'm down to do whatever you want.
Everyone's just gonna say no glory if I have the pet tank.
How will you feel though? It's about how you feel, man.
I feel like if the pet tanks, we kind of skipped the hardest part of the whole dungeon.
Is that going to diminish your sense of pride or accomplishment?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if we're going to do this for pride and accomplishment, we might as well go
I feel like
in.
if I main tank, oh yo, the ectoplasm, we should back up. If I main tank, and you taunt off me, it's fine. Like that wouldn't diminish anything. How much ammo do you have left, Deej?
I have a whopping 116 right now.
116, okay. I'll do it.
Yep.
Okay, who's looting?
That was not me because I have no benefit from loot, you know? Guaranteed was not me. I guess we'll just auto this down.
Rip on the bow, bro. Unlucky.
I know, right? What can you do?
How confident are you keeping me up on Verdun.
Bro, I can keep you up, but the mana, I'm gonna go for real.
Do you have a mana pot?
I have a small one. I've already used the 2 large ones I brought.
Okay, how about this?
One small.
I tank it. If I get low, you bear pet taunt off me.
Okay.
And if our priest goes and it's looking like we can't do it, you pet taunt and we all jump in the water. Like we just jump to safety.
Right behind the boss, yeah?
Right behind the boss, yes.
Cool.
Yep,
yeah, we can do
sounds like
that.
the plan.
What is your definition of low?
If
like 30, 40?
Okay, yeah, if I'm 30 or under 30%, 40%, I think you just pet taunt it and I can pull back from your pet. It's fine.
Okay.
Like what's the cooldown? 10 seconds on taunt?
5 seconds actually.
Oh
but
my gosh.
So looking at the Beastmastery rune, I don't know if it's 100% for the growl to always stick. Like, is there a chance that the taunt will be resisted or anything like that, or does it always go through with the rune?
You're asking me?
It works like a warrior taunt, so it's like a spell, so it can resist. It's always got that chance, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. It's a higher chance, like it's additional for threat for sure. Like it usually sticks out there in the open world for me. I just don't know if it's 100%.
Okay, how about this? If you get a resist, just let me know. And that'll be like, we can use a pre-shield or a health pot. 5 seconds later, you retaunt. If you get a second resist, I think we all get ready to jump.
Okay. Do we want to pull this druid over here on the right?
Yeah, what I'm gonna try to do is get 5 shield stacks off the druid. I'm gonna let him hit me for a long time until I'm at 5 shield stacks. So like, don't do any damage to it.
Cool.
Oh, my belt is breaking. Teach, are you lagging?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he's doing a moonwalk right there.
Bro, this is not the time to lag.
I know, right? All right, hey, we're back though.
Oh my gosh.
We're good, we're good.
Okay, you're naked, you're lagging. Okay.
Hey, odds are against us, but that's the plays of the human spirit, man. We persevere against all odds.
Bro, I have 4 shield stacks. I have 4. So make sure to get full mana. I'm gonna want to get 5. Come on. Yes, I got 5 shield stacks. Okay.
Perfect.
I think I just pull. I just pull.
Yeah, Slumber's on
right
me
now. Go. I think I just pull. It's
Slumber.
Okay. I'm pulling with the shield stacks.
Here comes the bear.
Okay. Let me know if you want me to jump. I'm gonna get closer to the edge. My shield stacks are gone. I'm gonna take a lot of damage here. I have 1 shield stack. Am I okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're good, bro. Keep going.
Okay.
We got this.
I'm gonna get closer to the edge. Just in case. Am I okay?
We got this, bro. Relax. We got this. Just DPS.
Nice.
Take it nice.
Okay.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy. We
Yeah.
got this. This is so easy, bro. I'm full
Hell
mana.
yeah. I like the confidence, Zoomed. I like it.
We're chilling. We are absolutely chilling.
Chilling? Okay.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. We're chilling.
Hey, no worries,
Oh
dog.
my gosh, the
Were we
easiest.
hey, were we
I told
stressing
you I could
about?
tank it, man. We don't need the damn bear.
Easy
We're
peasy, dude.
fine.
Oh,
Look at that.
Then,
That's insane.
Yo.
Shamans.
That is pretty fat.
Bro, I'm down to roll for it, man. It's so good.
No, I'm kidding, bro. You got it. Oh my gosh, I was so nervous for the last like 2 hours for that, and that was fine. Okay.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was stressing about as well. I was like, I know if we do the Verda thing, it's over. We got it, but that was gonna be the check.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right.
I always had faith, man. You boys doing good.
I like the confidence. The whole time you made me just feel real safe.
Nah, we're good, man. As soon as I saw that you're not taking that much damage and I can just keep you up, and I've got Homunculi and 1 damage, everything is all chill, man.
Come on, let's get the
Dude,
ring.
Here comes the big boy. The end is in sight, dude. I can practically taste the glory.
Imagine this guy just kills us all.
Doesn't matter. Come on, that's fine.
Got the MC.
I think the bear is just eating every fear. I noticed this on the fear serpents as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. Every single one.
Yeah. I was scared. I was
a lot
debating
of the
whether or not to
sleeps
put
as
them in.
well. No, a lot of the sleeps as well were going on the bear, and I could have dispelled them, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna hold on to the mana, man.
Yeah.
The spell
that was
takes
smart.
up a lot of mana, man.
Yeah, the bear is essentially there just to soak stuff, so we don't have to deal with
He
it.
did. He's a legend, man. He did good. He did real good.
Wow. Very sturdy bear, man. Every fair, yeah. The
It's
clockwork.
done, boys. It's done.
Hey, GG's.
Holy shit, we did it, man.
We did it.
GG's.
Give me the ring. Give me the ring.
I am awake at last.
Dude, seriously? Yo, am I an asshole if I roll on this,
Bro, I'm like, you take it, man.
No. You're needing it, You're not passing it.
Nah, man.
No, bro. Seriously, you're needing it, dude. You're needing it.
Oh man.
No matter what, you're needing it. I'm thinking about if I'm passing or not.
No, I'll
That's
need it
pretty
if
good.
you need. I'll need it if you need it. Yeah, let's just roll. And,
Yeah, let's roll it out. Let's roll it out.
Whoever gets it, it's gonna be positive, man. So good.
Yeah. I like that. All right. Good luck.
Yeah,
bro.
go ahead and roll it out, guys. Good luck, guys.
man.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Now, I would like to go ahead and say this. This was brought up in my chat before. An argument was made that if one showed up to, say, a Met Gala or a formal event, and they had, like, rings and necklaces on, but no tunic or shoulder, they would still be considered naked, would they not?
I mean, bro, if you're doing a nude hunter run, it's technically jewelry.
You know what? You guys are both new fathers. I feel like that'd be pretty BM to take the ring. So we'll pass. We'll pass.
Yeah, let's go, bro. I'm
Ooh.
happy. Yeah, I'm happy you got that, man.
Oh my
Yo,
God.
on the 69 roll
What
as
the
well.
69 for the
GG's, boys.
Dude, those guys were hella chill. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. Alright, guys. It's been real. I cannot believe we got this damn ring again. That is insane. Tomorrow we'll hit level 21. Use the ring, ding up. Send 3-man dead mines. Same group, same time. Zarstomp's looking up. Next week, hardcore BFD with the viewers. It's happening. Alright.
Today's video is the most serious I might have made in my entire career on this platform. It's a video I don't want to make because it's personally so uncomfortable. It's a video about someone I, and many in the community, considered a friend. Today, I personally don't consider this person a friend. I consider them a liar, both professionally and on a personal level regarding very personal things. But that's me going into things that I shouldn't need to. I also didn't want to make a video on this because I'm not an expert on the topics that we are completely discussing today. As you know, when I upload things to my channel, it can be about computer software, it can be about creepy games, it can be browsing the weirder side of the internet, like the deep web. It can be looking at trending things. It could be a bunch of stuff, mostly lighthearted, and yes, I do occasionally dip into things that are very serious. But when it comes to situations regarding, situations regarding trafficking and whatnot, I am not an expert. That is something for the law enforcement, for lawyers, for professionals to appropriately handle. I don't even think YouTubers should be the ones that are running cases like this, because in a vast majority of cases, most of them aren't well equipped. But in this situation, this creator specifically that we are talking about is Mama Max. Now, Mama Max is a channel with 746,000 subscribers, a filmmaker dedicated to empowering children. Throughout his career, Mama Max has covered topics such as his Life Sucks series, anime reviews, but what most people know Max for is his Predator hunts. Videos where Max claims to infiltrate dark corners of social media. He's made very popular videos and gained a lot of respect in the larger YouTube community. Predator hunting is a popular topic on the internet and YouTube in general, and it's seen a bit of a resurgence in recent years with very high-profile cases such as EDP445, caught in a massive YouTube sting operation, in an alleged meetup of a minor. Nowadays, the predator poaching channels that exist are a dime a dozen, and a big fear of these channels that a lot of the community has is that in the grand majority, for clicks and revenue, basic investigative and evidentiary rules aren't met, and law enforcement in many cases is not even involved until well after the fact. And it's caused a serious problem in letting actual evil people walk free because of technicalities and failing to follow basic evidentiary patterns, when in realistic fashion, if law enforcement was involved, these people would be tried in a court of law. That said, Mama Max has committed almost every single sin in the book in the hunt for who he believes is one of the most evil predators currently walking in the world today. So why am I talking about him so negatively now? Because again, like I said, Max has recently made several videos, 3 in particular, making what I believe to be a mockery of these types of serious investigations. Max has covered a story he claims is peppered with human trafficking, cult worship, and brainwashing, and violent abuse, topics that are incredibly serious, and as I've said, I am not a key expert on. Topics where real victims exist and continue to exist on a daily basis. So let's get started. This is the story of how Mama Max has failed what he considers a very serious investigation, and a prime example of how YouTubers should not be involved with serious situations like this. So let's start off with the story. The story begins on October 3rd, 2023, where Max sends me a message on Discord. Hey Muda, I hope you've been well. I don't want to bother, but I thought you might appreciate a heads up about an upcoming project of mine. I'm on the verge of releasing a video for Halloween that is likely to generate significant drama. While it may be deemed controversial, the intent behind it is for charity. The video is designed to be a trap for reaction channels. Knowing your integrity and the quality of your content, I would hate for you to be caught off guard. At the same time, we would be honored if you would consider covering this in a thoughtful manner. To facilitate a deeper discussion, may I include you in a group chat with other influencers who are also considering covering this topic. If confidentiality is not an issue, I'd be more than happy to send you the video under a non-disclosure agreement. This will allow you to become familiar with the video's content before it goes public, enabling you to navigate any provocative elements we've included. Look forward to hearing from you, Max. Now to understand, initially I read this and said, I'm down to hop in, man. Good to hear from you. Hope everything is well. And again, Max says, it's good to hear from you as well, bro. I'll add you in a few moments. Hey Muda, just wanted to know your current thoughts within the group chat. Now, if you notice the exact dates of these messages, you'll probably pick up that around this time in October, I was already busy with a massive investigation under our belt. In the following weeks from my response to Max, I would release a video on the completionist and further investigate that situation with a fellow YouTuber known as Carl Jobst. I was also in and out of the country for personal reasons, and I wasn't really able for anything else, I wasn't really available for doing anything, as you can assume during this time. I was mostly away from Discord, and if you really wanted to contact me, using Twitter to directly message me or calling me on my personal cell phone is usually the best tactic, which a lot of people in this scene, you know, if you need to absolutely contact me, have. That said, I can't confirm what happened in the group chat Max invited me to, as I honestly don't remember checking it, nor which creators were in that specifically. So a few days after inviting me to this group, Max inquires and asks, Mudahar, it's been a bit since we've caught up, and I get that your plate is probably overflowing, but I wanted to touch base again. Sorry if our previous chats have been a bit heavy. These issues are really close to my heart, and that's exactly why we need to keep the conversation going. You've got a seriously powerful platform, and within your reach, we could really make some noise for the betterment of children's lives. Just a little bit of your time could go a long way. No pressure to dive into the subject, but if you could spare a couple of hours for an interview, I believe we could spark some real change. Is there a time that works for both of us to sit down and talk for an initial engagement? A few days later, Max says, I'm reaching out again because the voices of child survivors cannot be ignored. I've shared their stories with you because I believed in your capacity for empathy and action. Your silence so far has been disheartening, but I still remain hopeful. Please understand, we are determined to be heard, and will continue to seek influencers who have the power to do something heroic. Watching the attached video and acknowledging their plight is all we are asking right now. I hope you will not let us down. Now obviously the end of this, you can see that it becomes very apparent that Max is emotionally guilting me into speaking and promoting a topic that I haven't actually seen much concrete evidence on, nor do I know much about, because it doesn't publicly exist, at least the evidence as far as today, and also because I'm working on another video for my channel as well, a very serious investigation that I have to be 100% on. Max sends me more videos that have since been privated, originally unlisted, and these videos, according to the time frame sent, I didn't see since, as you can imagine, I was preoccupied with my own investigation. The next video he sends me was originally titled, "This is the greatest cancellation of all time. @Penguin0, #WeAreReal." The title in the original play was a play on Charlie's content, in which his descriptions are always, "This is the greatest blank of all time." And the thumbnail being Charlie initially had me worried that something nefarious was going on or about to come out on a close online associate, given the nature of Max's predatory hunting content. This video was never a cancellation on Charlie, but rather severe clickbait to draw eyes and then shift attention briefly to the story Max is covering, and then focus on cults, misinformation, and artificial intelligence in our world. At this time, I respond back. Max, I've seen your latest video and have caught up with this whole situation. I haven't seen the 5-hour podcast with Spencer, who is one of the victims. She has her own channel, where she posted a 4 to 5 hour account of her involvement and experience with this cult that we are going to look into. It's quite long, and I feel the story could do with a bit more structure. This is a serious matter, and I have no issues covering it. I would like the victims to seek proper restitution, but going it in this manner isn't the best. I would be down to talk further with these victims and analyze this evidence if their claims are as solid as it's being depicted. And at this moment, Max had literally called the person in this video. He wasn't alleging, he was actually materially accusing them of...
On March 18th, 2016, Spencer, a 16-year-old girl from Wiley, Texas, mysteriously disappeared. Lured by the illusion of joining a supernatural family as a vampire on some random corner of the internet, she actually found herself ensnared in a dangerous cult led by a child predator posing as a werewolf god. The man had recruited hundreds of young children, subjecting them to sending CP, assault, and attempted trafficking. Almost 7 years later, Spencer and the other survivors shared their stories with me. This video serves as their scream for action against their perpetrator.
A few minutes later, towards a text scroll at the end of the video, you can see that he puts an entire full name, pinning those serious accusations on this person who is alleged to be this cult leader. So these were very, very serious accusations which need to be matched with very, very serious, corroborative, ironclad evidence. The videos you produce don't damn Cameron. A lot of the screenshots don't punch hard since they're on screen for less than a second and lack the required context. If you want this person to be damned and attract the attention of a broader community, we need to sit down and piece this together out from beginning to its current stages in a damning but digestible manner. The story has a beginning and we need to start there. And that's where I'm going to leave these messages at, okay? Obviously, I communicated with Max privately about the situation, but as we are making this video now, it's evolved into an entire miasma of complete confusion for people jumping in. And if you're confused now, just wait until we dig in further. Now, it's understandable that the story actually belongs to Max. Max was the first one to bring it to YouTube, and when you're making incredibly serious claims like he was making, they require incredibly serious corroborative evidence. You can't necessarily go to any YouTuber and tell them, hey, please say some of the most insane accusations you can make about anybody's character, and do that basically on blind faith. Yes, I know that he said to people that there is evidence locked behind an NDA, but if that evidence isn't publicly available, you literally are opening yourself up to a very, very serious claim from this person. That also said, making these serious claims can only entice this person if they're actually, say, allegedly guilty of them, and it could cause them to go down and delete evidence so that if they know that they are under scrutiny or investigation, they might start actually getting rid of actionable evidence that can exist. If these people are potentially armed and dangerous, it could make them go above the edge, over the edge, and then actually cause harm to the people around them as some form of retribution to somebody online. And that's why you have to be incredibly careful. You can't be making claims unless you can 100% back them with evidence that would hold up in a court of law, let alone public opinion. But with that also said, I understand that evidence sometimes can't be perfect. Sometimes you can't have silver bullets sitting around. But if you don't have anything actionable at all, then it's best kept quiet until you do. But this is where Max obviously wanted to cover the story, make these claims, and the way that he presented them was rather odd. And this is where part 2 of this video comes into, where we look at Max's rebranding, known as God Cult. This video, Brainwash Your Favorite Influencer, begins with a QR code and a text to the bottom asking viewers to send the video to large specific channels. He scrolls a massive disclaimer I need frame-by-frame analysis to read. 2 key points from this bullshit that I found interesting to me was when Max had signified that this was fictitious materials, when in reality this is serious allegations we're talking about. How is this a fictitious element, and why are we putting any of that into this video? Even if it is for legal reasons, can we actually believe anything that you're about to say and the people that you're about to name? That's a pretty big point of contention, and one that we'll come back to round trip towards the end of the video. The other big part is when he starts pointing out that if influencers deny anything here in this, then they could be one of these following horrible things like internet predators, like human traffickers, groomers, so on and so forth, which again is insane to put anybody critical of what they're about to see, especially when they should be critical of what Max is about to post, into a severe camp just again for denying any of the contents that he's posted in this video. So anyways, he asks to send this video to their favorite influencer to test them on their character. He guides through a tutorial on using the YouTube frame-by-frame keyboard commands to prepare viewers for a game. And he asks a series of questions. If God appeared before you and told you to sacrifice a child, would you do it? What? Then he gives another long string of BS that I have to frame-by-frame analyze. Now you can read this for yourself by pausing the video or slowing down. I've slowed the footage down by around 70%. So to understand the actual stuff that he's talking about is humanity will end up destroying itself if we don't protect our children. Children should be taught self-sufficiency, and these are all noble things to say. He falls into a tangent about artificial intelligence and, again, misinformation. These are topics that come up throughout this entire series later. But again, this is part of where the video's artsy natures come into. So hopefully, soon, we'll be getting into talking about the actual allegations he will be making. What comes next is a video from a cult expert that Max has brought on. And then it dives right into the first serious allegation and key part of this story.
On March 18th, 2016, Spencer, a 16-year-old girl from Wiley, Texas, mysteriously disappeared. Lured by the illusion of joining a supernatural family as a vampire on some random corner of the internet, she actually found herself ensnared in a dangerous cult led by a child predator posing as a werewolf god. The man had recruited hundreds of young children, subjecting them to sending CP, assault, and attempted trafficking. Almost 7 years later, Spencer and the other survivors shared their stories with me. This video serves as their scream for action against their perpetrator.
Now give yourself a second to breathe. These are very serious allegations. These type of allegations require absolute concrete proof and not a YouTube video, okay? This should be reviewed by lawyers, sent to police agencies. This is serious stuff. And so when we get to this, who is Max claiming to target? He talks about Camden. Now here, Max gives full names, plays loud music, and again, I have to frame by frame analyze, which for a serious topic like this, please stop the theatrics. Present this with the respect it deserves. There's a possibility that he will use anonymous accounts on various internet forums to spread rumors or false information about the victim or filmmakers. Any proof of a disinformation campaign, maybe some screenshots of his various accounts and postings, none of that are provided here. He may attempt to engage drama-oriented media sources, leveraging their platforms to spin a narrative in their favor. To my knowledge, no one in that drama-specific community has been contacted by this person. And that also said, this isn't drama, Max. This is a serious crime we're discussing. And that's what bugs me. Why are we not treating this with actual respect? This isn't a fucking Netflix show. This is a serious, heinous crime. He has a history of spreading disinformation to deflect the allegations against him. Again, where's the proof? Any links to his posts online or his accounts that are spreading this disinformation? In this video, nothing like that's given. He may resort to legal threats as a method to suppress his story and silence victims. To this date, no one covering this has reported that they've received any legal notices from this person. According to multiple sources, he is implicated in criminal activities affecting minors. Again, it's up to Max to provide the relevant reports for us all to see in this section, which he didn't do, and we'll revisit this person's legal situation later. It's not uncommon for figures like him to accuse detractors of slanders in an attempt to shift the narrative. As of the time of me recording this, no one to my knowledge has been communicated by this person specifically. There's a possibility that he will use social media and other platforms to discredit us or make counterclaims to confuse the public. The individual, once again, hasn't posted publicly and about this to my knowledge. Max, you gotta substantiate these massive claims. That is your job as a person delivering this story. He gives us his name, which I'm gonna refer to as Cade to make it simple. He cuts to a montage of what he discusses human trafficking is evolving, destructive cults are growing, an enemy of the children is an enemy of us all. God cult is translated to guard our descendants. That's the cult. It's about protecting children. He asks us to share Spencer's story and asks the audience to contact several large YouTubers. Some of them include H3H3. Some of them include Joe Rogan. Some of them include Anthony Fontano. Literally, he is in this video asking Anthony Fontano, check it out, there's a cool banger you're hearing. In the same video where he is discussing very serious allegations and very, very serious stories regarding victims. You can imagine why a lot of people are looking at this as him treating this as a joke. It's not a joke. This is serious. And in reality, what are people like Mr. Beast? What are people like PewDiePie gonna do? What are you gonna bring his kid into this? What, he's a father now, so he's not gonna signal boost unsubstantiated claims? What is Joe Rogan gonna do about this situation? None of these people are experts or have any legal backing to help you in this situation. All they can do is make unsubstantiated claims alongside you, which ultimately hurts this case more than it helps it. Now, I was expecting at the end of this video more explanation of how this person was a cult leader, or how they human trafficked Spencer. So far, we have her testimony, but no real hard-hitting, irrefutable evidence that corroborates that testimony that can at least be publicly shared. Max has already called this person a child predator, and I'm not a fly on the wall, so I don't know if that statement is true or not. The only way to prove that statement is true is evidence, which Max has not provided publicly yet. How can a creator stick their neck out and help when this whole situation relies on blind faith instead of facts? I worked on a case recently with Carl, which relied on us, not the same situation, mind you, definitely less serious, but it relied on providing proper relevant documentation to corroborate our accusations. Had I made those videos without providing documentation from, the Internal Revenue Service, actually doing my journalistic duty to contact all parties involved on tape, then people would laugh me out immediately. Nobody would ever talk about that situation, and I would be a laughingstock. That is a situation Max is currently facing at this moment, and it's entirely of his own volition. Okay, so now that we've seen the first video, we went over it, the amount of evidence in this first brainwashing piece has culminated so far in one witness testimony, not part of that video. It's a 4 to 5 hour piece you can watch. No supporting evidence to help corroborate the situation, no records of conversation, no travel documentation to show a minor at the time traveling across state lines, which is a very important thing, and he didn't even explain what this cult was. I don't know, I only know the name of this person, Cade. I know what Max is accusing him of, I just don't know of any supporting evidence to assist Spencer's testimony and accusations, even at the time, which I want to stress can be true. Again, I don't know anything in this situation. I was not a fly on the wall, but I want to know more about this vampire werewolf cult. So far, nothing tangible from Max has been explained, and again, that's a serious crux of this problem. The second video on Max's channel is titled, "This is what happened to Mama Max," a 25-minute video explaining the current trajectory of the channel and addressing criticism. In this video, he covers the history of what he produced, how YouTube tackled his racy uploads, and how he constantly shifted gears to YouTube's evolving climate. One of the big turning points in there was when he worked on the Kanye Quest video and found a group of friends in the horror community, in the dark horror community. And he found that there was an alarming situation of predators in YouTube comment section searching for kids. And this is where Max claims his fight would be headed. Regarding the accusations he made the previous video, nothing really substantial comes in this one. And it's more of a response to the criticism that he's been getting on that last video, rightfully so. So I want to address some pieces of criticism that he has.
Isn't scary. It's edgy 2010 era garbage. It's gross that Max is doing this thing where he pretends to reach out to other big YT channels in order to help victims, when in reality, he's exploiting these victims to try and get views. Genuinely evil behavior.
Genuinely evil behavior is taking the conversation away from sexual predators who victimize children and making it about the YouTuber that covered it, specifically because you don't like them. Your profile picture already speaks volumes about where you're coming from. If my aim were merely to chase views, I am in the absolute worst market of content creation on YouTube to do so. I am engaging in projects that require time, research, scripting, filming, and editing, just to get less views than everyone who is following the latest drama or trend.
This sounds a little deflected to me because regardless of who posted that comment and what sites they could be affiliated to, you are covering content that involves you hunting down some groups, investigating and bringing to light serious crimes. Regardless of how much of a filmmaker you are, these are real stories, and hiding behind a shield of vulnerable children when people question your nature just doesn't sound good. People right now especially are rightfully looking into your work, critical of how you perform these investigations and how involved relevant law enforcement agencies are, and how the people you claim to go after are actually converted into real tangible arrests. It's also dishonest to say that you could make more money when you are in a more profitable niche on YouTube. I get your videos are demonetized and age restricted and gangbanged in the algorithm, but your videos have been massively successful, millions of views, and you built a following on the platform, which by the way is the hardest part of this whole game. You've also built a Patreon where your last reported figure was over 1,800 members. Now Patreon introduced a free tier about 3 months ago according to this FAQ, but with a peak paid membership of around 3,341 members, according to this statistic website Graphtreon, and based on the recent membership options, if you take just the minimum amount, $7.50 Canadian, which is around a little over $5, let's make it 5 even. You're looking at a minimum paid earning potential before taxes and Patreon fees of $16,705 just for the peak month, which ain't bad if you're only making 2 videos a year. People are putting money into your pocket thinking that it is going towards your fight against serious bad people. And that's not bad money for uploading, again, very little. And this level of pocket watching was brought to you by our sponsor, Anti-Deflection Argument. You definitely did profit, and I wonder just why in October of last year you started hiding those membership counts. But that being said, this was not a terrible niche for you financially, and you gotta admit that.
Making subjects as serious as child and abduction brainwashing, and using them as mere window dressing to get noticed again because your YouTube relevancy is dwindling rapidly.
Comparing crucial issues like child, human, and as window dressing for YouTube relevancy says far more about you than you realize. Months were invested collaborating with the survivor to ensure her story is portrayed in a manner that reflects her lived experiences and the gravity of her suffering. In fact, the full 5-hour interview was uploaded to her channel instead of my own.
What kind of a response is this to a valid question? If you spent months researching this topic, then you would be able to present the narrative of Spencer with the best evidence that you can publicly present that would help build her case against this person that you have labeled a cult leader and child. She posts a 5-hour video of her interview and testimony on this situation, which is great, and I'm glad she gets to speak her piece. But let's not ignore that serious allegations require very serious pieces of evidence to corroborate them. We cannot work off of testimony alone. And that's what everyone's been saying about the situation. Had Max provided evidence about this, then it would be all okay and gravy. And that would be fine. But in this situation, he hasn't done that.
But if talking head videos are the language that the internet understands, then let's speak it. So, last week, I released a charity video in collaboration with the survivors of a destructive cult that has victimized hundreds of minors. Despite its significance, it turned out to be the worst performing video on my channel. While I fully accept responsibility for the video's underperformance, I want to make it clear, before the video even hit the platform, the survivor was integrally involved. Nothing was done without her explicit approval. The wave of criticism by detractors about a narrative that is not theirs to tell reveals behaviors that aren't just unhelpful, they are harmful.
Once again, he describes the situation as a destructive cult that victimized hundreds of minors, yet has produced no evidence of this cult even existing yet, any cult documentation, not even a name Max has uttered up to this point. And again, he's failed to provide tangible evidence of the hundreds of children. Again, this would be something you would have locked down with months of research before you would even produce these videos. It should be easy for someone who's claimed to actually have pedophiles, arrested. You understand evidence and why it's needed to substantiate claims. Max's third video on the topic was initially called "This is the greatest cancellation of all time" @Penguin0, #WeAreReal. Since then, in the backlash he received, he changed it to reacting to the reactions of the SSS Sniper Wolf's action. It's fair to also mention now that a lot of the disdain Max has for the community that he is preaching to is not responding to is because he genuinely believes his work is meaningful and that the attention at the time put towards SS Sniper Wolf and her drama regarding Jack's films was, something that people looked at more. Now, obviously, one topic can weigh objectively more in regards to the seriousness of the allegations mentioned. But SS Sniper Wolf was a pretty big story at the time, which involved a larger creator revealing the home location of another creator critical of them. It wasn't meaningful playground nonsense. It actually had real tangible implications on YouTube as well. Anyways, the video begins with a disclaimer, which now doesn't mention any fictitious elements. He hopes the video brings crucial eyes to topics such as youth trafficking, serving as what he believes is a guide to easily digestible content regarding these serious topics. He starts a parody of this talking head video showing a fictional creator covering lighter topics, but chooses to discuss serious topics as he cuts to Sniper Wolf. He cuts to Spencer, and then multiple victims calling for action. He summarizes Spencer's story again and makes claims of a dangerous sex cult that is led by a werewolf god recruiting hundreds of young children. Where's the hard evidence? I think by now you probably realize that there's nothing that he's showing is necessarily hard evidence. So he presents new things in this video, except it's all hidden in between frames of this massively schizophrenic editing and incoherent garbage. Look, this is a serious matter. Please present it seriously. Leave this on for people to digest and provide context to what you're showing. So I'm going to go frame by frame and show you each and every single screenshot to show you exactly what he's shown. So one of the actual posts he shows is from Whisper, a social media app that promotes you to speak openly and honestly about yourself. It's meant to be this anonymous social media app that lets you post and share photo messages with text embottled on top of them. Here's the post where they're asking the reader if they're human, they want to learn about being supernatural, and if their age is between 11 to 18. Please message them. Now, while this is an alarming post, it would help if Max could try to, link this directly to Cade or, to any person and, bring this up the chain, explain the context. But without that context, it's just a screenshot that exists. The next screenshot he shows is from a messaging app, I assume Facebook Messenger, where it's cropped unfortunately, and I can't seem to get an identity of the parties. And also screenshots are incredibly tough, at least for me in most cases, because as you've noticed with, situations like Dream, where he faked DMs from Pokimane and XQC, and there were some people that actually believed this. It's easy to fake a screenshot. So again, the whole concept of just looking at a screenshot is tough, at least personally for me. Unless I can log into the account and refresh from the server, then things are different. But this is a cropped argument, and it's a clear argument between two individuals. One who appears to be reaching out to a person to explain reason to them, telling them that they're looking out for them. The other person, says Cade, who is the person Max is alleging to be this cult leader, of course, is stating they have one more time to bother his family before he tries to make a visit to Texas, implying this violent threat, and a response is, try me then. The next screenshot of a Twitter account called Camden exists, where the handle ID Black Angel is cut off. And using a Twitter advanced search for this, the account yielded no results, which unfortunately means I can't prove that this screenshot from Twitter even exists. And I also wonder why Max cut off the handle for people to look up on Twitter. The other mention is literally a public post from this Camden individual saying, getting sucked by Kirby equals raisin balls. What is the context here? How does this explain the cult? How does this explain anything? This is why people are mad. He is presenting these screenshots like they're damning evidences, and they are not. He then shows like social media accounts that are on Snapchat of allegedly belonging to Cade, which again, what context does this add? What does this mean? He then shows a social media direct message from, I assume this is the app Whisper. Correct me if I'm wrong. And again, if you read the chat, I was bitten by a wolf. That's how I became one. Can you show you in your form? Werewolf form? What's the context? What are we talking about here, man? Like, this could be anything. He then shows, like, the Twitter account that belongs to Cade, and he actually gives a handle, but this account has been inactive since, like, 2016, really. The next thing he shows is from a public Facebook account from Camden that says, suck it raw. Again, what is the context? Okay, I probably wrote suck my dick publicly somewhere too. Does that mean that I have done something nefarious or I could be running a cult? What is the context to these messages? You have to be able to provide them, otherwise people are going to be confused. He then shows the only tangible piece of evidence in this, for me at least, where it shows Spencer and Camden together in a photograph, which proves that they've met in reality. He then shows more images of random people, couples blurred out that I can't exactly identify, and he's also done a poor job of blurring them out too, so I'm going to add more blur on top of the blur. But what does this mean? What is the context behind some of these images? The only ones important to me are of Cade and Spencer, because those are the only people that he has introduced us to. He shows us one screenshot of somebody making like devil horns in an Instagram selfie. And again, poorly blurred, but what is the context here? He's even blurred out the actual, Instagram blurb, the little text blurb that even talks about this. What is the context? He then shows an image of a bite mark, which again, I have to ask, what is the context? Is Max showing this as a evidence of physical abuse? Without context, it could be anything. It could be somebody getting a hickey. It could be whatever. Max doesn't do this. He doesn't elaborate on what he shows. He just presents it as part of this flashy editing. The next screen grab is Charlie talking about Sniper Wolf, which I assume is a jab because he tried to get Charlie's attention, but Charlie wasn't having it. He was busy, had COVID at the time, and just didn't jump into this.
Stop ignoring Mama Max. Yeah, so here, you want me to talk about it a little bit? That rubbed me the wrong way. We talked like a month ago about like what he was working on in his investigation. And then apparently when I had COVID, he messaged me a couple times and I never saw it. And now he's taken that as me ghosting him and ignoring his very important mission. And it really rubs me the wrong way. Instead of just he's jumping to the most extreme possible explanation for me not seeing it, which is really fucking cringe. That did make me upset. There. Yeah, that really rubbed me the wrong way. I had COVID, and I barely used Discord in the first place. It was a miracle I ever even saw his message to begin with. And then I spent 12 days not doing anything online, in bed. And during that time, apparently it changed his whole framing of the video in order to make it like a Trojan horse of cancel critical, because he didn't respond to my messages and ghosted me. So yeah, that did rub me the wrong way. Good intentions, but I did not like that.
So then he shifts it to the National Human Trafficking Hotline that gives statistics on trafficking reports. Again, you haven't linked onto the trafficking situation. It's all been random screenshots without context connecting a story together that many people just aren't understanding. He shows one screenshot that describes how Kate told me not to. but you also want to know what your humble leader did to me? He convinced me to go to his house at the end of last August and engage with him. He told me, and I still talk to the guy that drove me there. I also almost got arrested for walking to his place at 2 a.m. one day because every full moon we have to have. And also, don't forget the miscarriages he made me induce. This is the only other piece of evidence or, conversation that is pertaining to this very serious topic. Everything else is insanity. So Max explains how his sister got him in contact with the story. He switches the discussion to mass surveillance, explains how evil markets such as forced labor and trafficking exist, which is true. But how does this tie back to the story of Cade and the allegations you've made? Again, he hasn't provided solid evidence. He's just sort of thrown things on a dartboard, haphazardly tried to connect them, and made a fool out of himself. He goes on to this unrelated rant on artificial intelligence and how it can be used to manipulate and exploit vulnerabilities. And after this, they have a call to influencers that they should use their platforms to become agents of change by platforming unsubstantiated claims, apparently. It shifts to this part where he chastises Charlie by showing tons of communications he's attempted to have. And again, like I told you, Charlie wasn't there at the time. He had COVID, and he was in bed for 2 weeks, unable to really, look into the situation. Now, this video is like the final nail in the coffin. People really started losing faith, and I hope you understand why. Look, Max made a joke of this situation, in my opinion. He was brought this story, and honestly, it caused a lot of people who were already watching this raising serious questions on his character, serious questions on the validity of this case, and in response, Max didn't make any follow-up video to explain this case properly. Instead, he hosted these live streams, inviting all manners of creators. I even joined in, and I explained to him what I explained privately. Max, as you can imagine, has not listened, which is why we are here right now, to discuss a story that should have been delivered with seriousness and not showmanship. And I'm going to briefly go over the story of Spencer now, and her interaction with Cade. Now, Spencer's story is the part that Max has been harping throughout the entire 3 videos that he's made, and the video that Max wants you to go watch is a 4 to 5 hour podcast from Spencer's actual channel. Now again, if you are 100% interested in the complete accounting from her end regarding the story, I highly recommend you go check her video out. But the problem is, these videos that are this long are obviously going to have a viewer drop-off. Max understands this, I understand this, and if you've made YouTube videos for longer than a week, you probably also understand this as well. Reality is, Max has to be concise and explain the story properly. Now, in this situation, the best video I could find that concisely explains this for the audience's first viewing is by a YouTuber known as Slime Beast, who basically made the video, "What the f is Mama Max talking about? Werewolf Cult Simplified." And by all means, it's a pretty good video that explains how this situation was effectively about Spencer, who was a 16-year-old girl who met an 18-year-old Camden online, who was only found out that he was 18 at the time from Slime Beast's actual assessment into public police records. So of course, Spencer ran away from home to live with Camden, an 18-year-old person that she met. And of course, going in forward, Spencer's presence in Camden's family home was a secret, giving him full control over what she was allowed to do, which is one of the points of contention for a lot of people. She lived there for 3.5 to 4 months, and the mother, and it appears that other people may not have had an idea that she was there the entire time. Again, 3 to 4 months, I'm sure that human beings, no matter how busy you are, you may have an idea that somebody else, other than the people you know, is living in your house. Maybe you catch them sleeping, maybe something happens. This is a point of contention, but again, I'm not here to go into contention, I'm here to relay what the supposed facts of this entire situation is, and why it's been lost in a miasma of confusion. So during this time, Spencer was abused in multiple ways by Camden, allegedly, by her own account, which that is effectively the story. Camden had also tried to get Spencer to sleep with people that he had found online, allegedly. So again, this is effectively the quick summarization of what is Spencer's story. I highly recommend you check out her channel and her video to get her full accounting, because there are a lot more, details that are interesting to hear, and it's not entirely even about Spencer too. So again, going in further, the cult aspect, which is by far the most embellished aspect and the most unexplained one by Max so far, is best described as Camden being a werewolf god, allegedly, and amongst other things, whatever deities they may be, He convinced Spencer and others that they too were vampires, werewolves, and they were hunted by outside forces, which meant that they should all stay together as a pack, a family. He claimed that he could send their dead loved ones to hell if he could, and again, through these methods, this guy allegedly controlled various targets and people who were joining into his fold. He would then have his followers try to recruit others online, some as young as 11. And that is, of course, alleged. Now, of course, this is a quick, concise explanation, and I highly recommend you check out the channel Slime Beast, who actually did cover and read through this as well, too. And it lines up with my personal interview with Spencer that I had a few days ago, and generally, like, watching through the 4 to 5 hour piece. I think this is probably the best, concise way that Max should have put it. And here's the reality. There are actual things that are alleged here that are more important than even the cult aspect. The story that is provided should be treated with a serious nature, instead of the tangents that Max wanted to go to. But of course, this is the problem when a YouTuber who is way out of their depth jumps into a story that they honestly shouldn't even be relaying and should absolutely hand it off to professionals at the very beginning. There is no excuse for this. This is purely on Max's screw-up that people are looking at the story in such a confusing manner. The other takeaway from this is Spencer's video is that Max was also apparently being investigated by the FBI.
A failure of contract.
I don't think it was the police, because like I said, I went through trafficking 911 and they handed it off to the FBI.
The FBI never responded. That's interesting. I literally got a card on my front fence from the FBI. They didn't even bother contacting you.
No.
Spencer also brought victims, and I can't stress this enough. She admitted that she went on social media apps and started to form connections with people that could be as young as...
What was the operation? Did he tell y'all go to these places?
So my particular recruitment style that he also encouraged others to do it this way too, was to go on Whisper and post about, oh hey, if you want to join a family dynamic and be a part of a pack, hit me up on Kick, you know, or like DM me and then we'd give them the kick. So there was one time he did have me lure a girl like physically.
Now that said, I'm not qualified to be speaking on these situations because again, without evidence and without properly understanding the story, I don't know the proper accounts. That's for Max to detail and describe. If he's not putting in the effort, how can he reasonably expect every other influencer in the world to put in the effort to interview and understand and then make claims on cases like this? Now what you're about to hear is a portion of a call that me, Max, Spencer, and another YouTuber by the name of Nicholas Diorio had when interviewing and confronting Max about the situation. And while the first hour of that call was more centered around Spencer's story, the second hour of this call was more around Max's demeanor and his actions regarding this investigation. And there are quite a few bombshells in here that we personally feel are a little too irresponsible, I guess if you wanted to put it lightly. Max had actually revealed to us that there were portions where he didn't even properly vet and timeline all of the evidence.
I guess the challenge for me with showing the evidence is I personally have not been walked through the evidence besides Spencer's. The survivors in the server, not all of them are as active as we would like them to be. Obviously a lot of them have trauma, they talk about it, and that it's hard for them to actually just sit down and speak with me. But that's why I've been just asking the general public to please be patient. Like there's a lot of things we need to wait for. I am just trying to get the word out that this is Camden Gerard Davis. This is what the accusations against him are. And it's also, you can also, like, we are fine saying this is all alleged. Like, we are fine if...
But you can't just say it's alleged now. You've been calling him a pedophile.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm fine doing it because I trust them. But...
Okay, but you said you didn't review most of the evidence besides Spencer, though.
I reviewed the evidence. I just haven't had the context as to what it is pertaining to.
So you looked at the evidence, but you don't understand how...
Yeah, in the exact timeline, which has been why, just one of many reasons why it's been such a struggle to create the comprehensive timeline, as I'm waiting on a lot of different things.
But you see, that's why people are inflamed with you right now. It's because you just told me in this call that you didn't properly review every single victim, and now... And just from this one clip, you can ascertain the complete frustration that I and many others have had when communicated by Max about this situation. How is it that you can make calls to action and blatant statements of fact when, at the end of the day, you have literally not even properly reviewed, you have not properly contextualized, and even timelined every single bit of evidence that consistently builds? You're clearly not an investigator built for this case. And it's not literally because someone like him is out of his head, because he only is one person. I have done plenty of investigations. I've just never revealed and played my hand and explained things until I fully understood them. How Max couldn't do it for such a serious situation like this is insane. And that's where we're leading to now, is his unethical practices, not just in this investigation, but other previous investigations that a lot of people have been casting doubt over. Now, unfortunately, with situations as messy as this, Max's unethical coverage needs to be talked about. Max has been live streaming by bringing these victims on to discuss and debate with randoms on the internet. And for the most part, this has been very unhelpful, and this time could have been better spent with him preparing this evidence, the timelines, preparing a video, and discussing the situation properly. The levels of productivity on these live streams are so fucking low that at one point he brings on Keemstar.
Lyrics, please do not name drop my exes on my stream.
Well, why wouldn't you just tell?
Why are
I actually
you
don't even
running
know what you
cover?
mean.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was talking to Max though.
Yeah, you can hear me. Why are you running cover for these vampire?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, Keem. Good shit.
Vampire. In
Yep.
the Minecraft community, you're going around, you're running cover.
That's
for
my
a
fucking cult.
Storm of
Yep.
EDP 445s. You're gonna
You know
flood
me.
the world with EDP 445s.
It's fucking good.
And Keemstar brings up old 2016 memes. In this moment, these girls have to sit there and basically realize that their entire story is being invalidated in real time, is being made a mockery of in real time, as Max doesn't bring a serious person to discuss this topic. It's also questionable with the relationship that Max has with law enforcement in regards to prosecuting or assisting to prosecute this case. When confronted on a live stream by other YouTubers, he actually had a lot of questionable statements to make regarding this specific topic, and whether they were working with law enforcement or whether they weren't. And this raised a lot of concerns, and again, another red flag to me.
We are not going to court, Xyleh.
So what are you doing? Just hunting them down like a deer? Is that what we're doing? What are we doing?
Have you not been listening this stream?
I know, but you loop. You loop, and then you always look to somebody else for an answer. You can't give an answer yourself.
I'm answering you.
What are you doing then? Tell me right now. I will be quiet for you to answer, and go.
So when we reached out to the lawyer, he told us it would not be beneficial to pursue a case against Majora because he does not have substantial assets. So he recommended that we all go in person to report him to the police station that is in his jurisdiction.
So they didn't tell you to go into the okay, is he still in the same jurisdiction that the crime occurred? Okay. Because I was always under the impression you have to go into the jurisdiction that the crime occurred. Alright? Then yes, carry your pretty asses over to that jurisdiction and go, hey, Mr. Police Officer, I have a crime to report. Yes, that's what needs to be done.
Yes,
hell,
that
you
is what
might
we are
even
doing.
be able, and because since, you know, COVID and stuff like that, you might even be able to do it over the phone. I don't know. I don't know. And I've only dealt with, I know you're in a different state now, you know what I'm saying? But I've had to do it. I've had to do stuff like this before, on my own accord. But yes, you need to go to the police of the jurisdiction of where the crime occurred and go, hello, Mr. Officer, can you help me?
doing.
Okay, that should have been done before these live streams.
Again, this is by far the most important part, is the relationship to the law enforcement. Again, it's not really properly conveyed, in my opinion, whether this is a criminal, civil case, what departments are properly involved, just how the evidence has been submitted. This is a key concern of mine and many others, and it should be a key concern if you want to see justice actually delivered. And of course, as people have looked into this, a lot of shifting has went into what Mama Max's previous content and the validity of it also meant. About a month ago, actual Redditors started to investigate Max's older content. Seeing the unhinged live streams caused me to wonder about some of Max's past content. His newest God Cult and his current project stuff has been reviewed so many times. So I wanted to watch an old video, and particularly his Cartoon Incorporated video, IMVU, and Puppy Stomp. So while this is a very long post that you can read, one of the oddities, and I'll summarize them to the best of my abilities, is with Cartoon Incorporated conveniently considered lost media as the channel that posted it cannot be found. The Frozen 3 video is edited with a similar style to Max's older content. Brainwashing clip. Subliminal messages hidden within the clip uses the font Pixture Granular, a unique font type that appears in Max's later videos. The font type is not a default font on Windows OS or in Adobe Fonts, meaning the font was searched for and downloaded or purchased. Side note, someone recreated Cartoon Incorporated and posted breakdowns of the brainwashing clip. What is the likelihood that Max shares the same unusual font with something he happened across that literally no one else can find? Editing style also seems similar to his old video intros. IMVU. It is implied in the video that an account under the name Casey was exploited by Pablo Sunny. Remember that name. The account only has one friend, Pablo. Max makes note of how she's isolated and moves on quickly. Max supposedly finds the YouTube account owned by the same person by image searching her profile picture. The image is from Naruto. Now, how could one reverse search and find that specific YouTube page? Screenshot of IMVU profile, Naruto character, and YouTube page. So this is the one right over here, Naruto profile picture, IMVU, you get the point. He implies that he somehow gained access to the account to locate these unlisted videos. One of them is titled, "This is Where You Killed Me," and depicts a bloody white sheet in the woods. With Casey corresponding with herself in the comments, it is implied that she herself or disappeared off the internet. Oddly enough, the completely inactive Casey accounts no longer exist on YouTube and IMVU. They were deleted at the same time Max and Sylphit's IMVU accounts were also deleted. The most similar Casey account I could track down in 2002 and appears to be entirely unrelated. And then he claims in a Discord Q&A that Casey is actually alive.
What about Pablo Sunny again? Does he know he's been caught or something? Oh, wait.
Yes.
Is there an update on Casey? Can you talk about how you got into the account or how you found it? Yeah, that's a bit much.
I can't talk too much about KC. I don't know what I can and can't say. I will tell you that yes, she's okay. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, thank God. I didn't even know that. Holy shit. That's something I wanted to actually jump in VC with you about at some point.
Yes, but
thank God.
So in one surface, he says that she could be dead, and then all of a sudden she's okay. There has been no proof that this Casey person even existed. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make an unsubstantiated claim. At the end of the day, I haven't had the time to sit down and review every single bit of Max's back catalog as I've been researching his current investigation. However, during the call with me, Max, Nick, and Spencer, he was absolutely telling at the time that you shouldn't really be taking a lot of his content seriously. It's meant to entertain. The facts are often embellished or at least simulated when it comes to producing movies, which I think is really ethically damning when it comes to producing content that is all about hunting down children or, you know, pinning a lot of these crimes or implicating a lot of these public services on cases like this.
So recently, people have been saying that your investigations kind of skew the line between fact and fiction because they're finding things that you've created as context for the video. I think people are pointing to the Discord server that you were an admin of when you were showing it. The lawsuit that you changed the name or whatever. How much of what you do is kayfabe, and how much of it is legitimately like live? This is the investigation. Here it is.
So, the investigations themselves are real, but obviously the films have fictional elements. There's multiple reasons, like for example, the admin thing on the Discord server, I had to recreate it.
Yeah.
Like, that was a recreation because I didn't have the originals. The IMVU thing, I wasn't, I don't know why people are saying like it's a film, like I am presenting it as if it were to be real, but I didn't think people would take it as that. Like,
But wait, you hunt pedophiles. You don't think that people are going to think your videos are real?
So that's the thing. So I want everyone, when you watch my video, to assume everything is fake, except like when I show a face and what they're doing.
Again, why are we interspersing fact and fiction when it comes to incredibly serious stories like this? Look, I'm not here to say if Max is definitively faking his stuff or not. People definitely have their suspicions. But the thing about it is if you're admitting that you don't want people to think your content is real, how can you honestly take the responsibility to cover serious cases like this when you are admitting that, yes, my audience, if they watch my videos, I don't want them to think anything is real unless I show this person's face and make serious accusations. Look, either all of it is real because this is supposed to be an investigation. This is not some movie, okay? This is not some fictionalized media. Even media that does dramatic recreations is following facts, okay? If that's the content they're trying to produce. If the content they want to produce is making investigations where they are going after the darkest corners of the internet, people have a very reasonable expectation to believe it's real. So again, with Max's former content coming into question, that also shows you that maybe questioning everything that Max shares is probably the only way to go now. If the man is willing to fabricate some things for videos, and again, in a call that we had with Max, it very much is apparently the fact. He is not above, actually. So this is an interesting part of the situation. We actually know about the Pablo Sonny stuff at a closer heart. So I had a call with Max alongside Nicholas Diorio, Spencer, the victim, and of course him in a Discord call a couple days ago. And inside this call, he actually claims that he doesn't know if anybody has been arrested.
Have you ever gotten someone arrested?
If I have, then I don't know it.
You went on my podcast to tell me that you've got someone arrested and it was because of your video, just to be clear. Would you like to re-answer that question?
I've been emailed stuff like, hey, you got this guy arrested, congratulations.
You went on and you said, this guy was arrested, it was because of me, it was because of my video. And you told me that 2 years ago.
It's kind of egotistical of me to say that it was my video that did it. I don't know that for sure.
But then you said recently that he fled to the Philippines, so was Sonny ever arrested? Pablo Sonny? Did that ever even happen?
Yes, he did. All we know is that his last location we picked him up from was Mexico. Whether he fled to the Philippines or not, we don't know. We just know he has family there, and that's the most likely destination they would go to, just because.
But he was in, like, so he was arrested. That was.
Pablo Sonny? I don't think so. I think he got away.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, if he was arrested, I have no idea.
Why did you tell me he was arrested? You said Pablo Sonny was arrested and my video did it. Why did you lie to me on my show?
Do you have a clip of that?
Yes. It's in something I've been currently editing.
Yeah, send it to me.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I think there's even a video on YouTube. Actually, can you just jump in the screen share? I'll just pull it over. Because somebody archived it.
I guess I can hear stuff, but I can't see anything.
Perfect. That's all you need, because the visual is a drawing. Okay, here you go. This is the 2 clips, contrasting clips of Pablo Sonny. Okay, so obviously one of them is in December 29th, and the other is, December 29th, 2021, and the other is November 27th, 2023. Okay?
Okay.
what is your primary goal? Is that then? There's no what's your other
Well, I guess the question is like that the Nick's getting at is like, okay, so you want to enact this change. What do you hope is the eventual result of your video?
Okay.
Of all this.
So I know there's people out there saying I'm doing it to self-serve. I just want my video back up. I don't give a shit if my video comes back up. It did what it needed to do. So that was in the video is currently in police custody. And it
was that as a result of your video, or was
Yes.
that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because
Okay.
of the video.
All
The
right.
video was about IMVU and this one predator. I made it about him and him alone.
IMVU is a game, right? You
Yes.
played the game and you exposed this guy.
Yes.
Do you mind walking me through the chain of events that led from your video to him being imprisoned?
Yeah, so I dropped the video. The end of the video is a call to action. Usually all my videos are a call to action, like find him, and we did.
So in this case, find him meant like you didn't know who he was. You wanted his doc so he could go to jail.
All we had was his face and his voice.
Right.
And out of that, I said find him, and then within 24 hours, we found him. And then I started social engineering all of his friends to give me his information, and they did. And then we pegged him. He fled to Mexico. We found where he was in Mexico.
Wow.
I don't know if the police. He was from Canada, so I don't know if the police asked him to
As
come
all
back.
terrible people are.
Mhm. I don't know if the police asked him to come back, or he went on his own volition, or they forced him to come back. I don't know any of those details. I just know he went back to Canada and was in police custody for a certain amount of time.
So you lied.
So that was what I was told through Instagram posts when I was in contact with his friends.
You didn't remember that until I showed you the clip? You didn't remember that, like, this is your biggest crown achievement, that you got a pedophile arrested?
I didn't remember the details, no. I just remember he fled to Mexico, all the police custody shit. That was only shit I was told. I couldn't verify any of that.
So you just got on stream and told everybody it was me, I did it, Mama Max, #1.
Yeah, that's not cool. You can let people know I think that. I mean, we literally had him had him in a voice call. Like, it's like the Mega Drive. Like, it's literally us saying we're 14 years old. He's saying, yeah, I want you to ride me and shit like that, to what he thinks is a 14-year-old. And we verified that by telling him, like, I don't know, I'm young, I don't know, I'm only 14. I think that should be sufficient to put him in prison. But the law says otherwise, I suppose, because as far as I know, he hasn't been imprisoned, and people have been I received an email that someone was going to talk to the deputy about why he hasn't been arrested, and I'm also actually going to start interviewing police local to me as to don't get arrested, because I know they all want to arrest them. It's just the law binds them.
So you've never
For some
actually gotten a pedophile arrested?
Not to my knowledge.
He doesn't even know if he had any arrests under his belt. So for a person to blatantly lie about this kind of shit, this very serious stuff is obviously things that are going to bring every single aspect of his character into serious question. Now, he fails to tell the survivor story in a proper manner. What really also burns me is Max's incompetence to using actual proper research. He literally brings ChatGPT and believes that it can provide legal advice. Oh, not ChatGPT, bro.
Okay. So, look at what I just sent you.
Yeah, you sent me a ChatGPT prompt, not a fucking legal definition.
I mean, we can argue legal semantics all we
No,
want.
we're
We are
not arguing
lawyers.
semantics. We have to look at exact definition, Max. This is the problem with this situation. You're going in with evidence that can't be 100% corroborated. You're going in with allegations as an evidence. Courts would laugh you out.
Are we talking to your lawyer, ChatGPT?
Yeah,
right
is this
now?
your?
Like,
Is
what
this
the
the
fuck
lawyer?
is
Like,
going
dude,
on?
right here, bro. Come on, you can't. You know, if I make a video on this, this is what I have to work with. How do you honestly think I can take your side logically? If tomorrow I was like, oh, where's Max getting his legal definitions? Oh, ChatGPT. By the way, ChatGPT has also been getting fucking dumber over the last few months. I mean, come on.
If the judge and jury find a witness statement credible, they can charge or convict you of a crime based solely on witness testimony alone. That is from BergenCriminalAttorney.com. Y'all can look it up.
Show me that. Show
Like,
me
we
what.
can
then
argue
show me.
this- we
Show
can
me
argue
that.
this
Show me
all
that
day,
definition.
Mudahar.
Show me that definition, not the ChatGPT. Why'd you not bring me that one?
I am giving you multiple.
Give me
Like, I
that.
am
Give me the
telling-
one from the legal definition. Why'd you bring me ChatGPT? Link me that right now. We'll read it together.
ChatGPT understands the legal system.
Now, and of course, in one situation, Max was also in his own controversy with various ex-relationships of his life, which if Max believes that accusations are evidence, or allegations are evidence, behavior can be evidence, then all these 5 girls that were bringing allegations against him, Max might be what they claim. These allegations were brought forward by the victims, but organized by someone named Magnetar, a boyfriend of one of the victims at the time. Max outed
got
Magnetar
our
as
shit.
Anthony and
Well,
accused him of
I was
pedophilia.
cleaning up the run till
Anthony-
like right at the end, but I wasn't
Haley's
watching the
boyfriend,
Mana.
Magnetar on YouTube, the one who
yeah,
published
I was,
this video on me.
Tank run, like people were patient. With
One of the worst crimes imaginable. And
I
it might
could've
have been
used
okay
my
if that was
bombs
just
a bit
one
more
screw
often. I
up,
only
but
used
as
like
of
7.
recently, he's still